This page is the front cover of SEGA Saturn magazine, issue volume 17 from May 30th, 1997. It's shouting out the latest SEGA Saturn info every week. The cover features a striking image of a spaceship, giving off a real futuristic vibe. This issue's got a special feature banner screaming about new game genre scramble and verifying secrets. It seems to be a deep dive into the hottest new games and maybe some hidden tips and tricks. Probably part 2 of a special secrets feature called Go Special. Looking at the game highlights on the right, we have Silhouette Mirage taking the top spot, followed by Last Bronx. There's also a mention of a Gazelle, which we know internationally as Panzer Dragoon Saga. The RPG Panzer Dragoon title, Sonic Jam, is also featured, which is a great collection of classic Sonic games. Slayers Royal, Salamander Deluxe Pack Plus, and Real Sound, Kaze no Regret are also in the lineup. Then we've got Resident Evil, or Biohazard as it's known in Japan, Sentimental Graffiti, and Willy Wombat. And the list continues with Samurai Showdown RPG, Langrisser IV, Quiz Nanero Dreams, Poron Champ Doozy Typer, J. League Go Goal, and Breakpoint. Quite a diverse mix of genres on display this month, from RPGs and action games to sports and even quiz games, showcasing the Saturn's wide appeal. This page talks about Real Sound, Wind Regret, a game that unbelievably has absolutely no visuals at all. The screen is completely black, and you play solely with sound. It's described as a completely new style of software, where you can even play while lying in bed, turning your back to the TV. The game is a love story, where the player becomes the protagonist, Hiroki, and travels the world. The drama unfolds through conversations with women you meet, and your choices affect the story. It emphasizes using your imagination, since there are no images, promising a rich and detailed world in your mind. The scenario is by the scriptwriter Sakamoto Yuji. The music is by Suzuki Keiichi of Moonriders, promising a fantastic soundscape. The voice cast includes some big names, like Kashiwabara Takashi, Yoshino Kimika, and Fujiwara Norika, adding to the appeal with their unique voices. The director, planner, and producer is Ino Kenji. They are looking forward to players experiencing this brand new Real Sound, Wind Regret this summer. Notably, at the top left of the page we can see the Warp logo. Real Sound, Wind Regret is an audio game for the SEGA Saturn, designed to be experienced without visuals. The game, planned and directed by Ino Kenji, aims to stimulate imagination through sound. Scriptwriter Sakamoto Yuji and composer Suzuki Keiichi were drawn to the unique concept, with Suzuki crafting the soundscape, considering sound effects as camera lenses. The voice acting team includes Kashiwabara Takashi, Yoshino Kimika, and Fujiwara Norika. The game is a 3-kdram set and will be released in the summer of '97 for 6,400 yen. This page is all about Magical Drop 3 for the SEGA Saturn. It's heavily promoting the game as a puzzle game revolution. We see vibrant artwork featuring key characters, including the 2 main figures at the top, and a crowd of smaller, colorful characters below. It's clearly an action-packed puzzle game with a lot of personality. The page proudly announces the release date as June 20th, 1997, with a price of 5,800 yen before tax. There's also mention of a special hot campaign, where you can get a 3-point set as a present. It seems like they are giving away original goods as prizes to 2,000 people who send in an answer questionnaire postcard, which includes a 3-item goods set. The deadline for entries is the end of July. The next page is part 2 of the Hyper Priestess Sensei's Magical Drop lecture, continuing from the previous page which featured Magical Drop 3. This lesson is about mastering chains in the game. It's presented as a comic strip, where the Hyper Priestess is teaching a student how to create combos. The first panel shows the priestess holding a Magical Drop 3 game case and encouraging the student to play the demo. The student in the next panel says they've played but struggled against the CPU, leading into the priestess explaining the importance of chains for victory, especially in versus matches. The comic then breaks down a very basic chain formation, demonstrating how placing a yellow drop can trigger a chain reaction with blue drops. The student gets excited about understanding chains, and the priestess hints at more advanced techniques to be covered later, suggesting a part 3 will follow. The page ends with a "to be continued in part 3" message and copyright information from 1997 and Data East, the game's developer. This page is an advertisement for a SEGA Saturn word processor software package from Koei called Word Processor Digital Camera Compatible Version. It emphasizes how you can transform your SEGA Saturn into a word processor and enjoy it even more by incorporating photos. The advert highlights several key features, such as being useful for creating seasonal greetings and personalized name cards, allowing users to easily insert their own photos or scenic pictures. It also boasts a collection of clip art from popular games, including characters from Angelique and Tokimeki Memorial, which can be used to decorate letters and cards. The software supports color printing using compatible printers and is compact in design. The set contents include EggWordVer 2.0, SEGA Saturn print interface, and the digital camera compatibility. It mentions a July initial release and pricing of 36,800 yen for the full set and a 16,800 yen upgrade kit. Essentially, it's promoting the SEGA Saturn as a versatile tool beyond gaming, allowing users to create personalized documents and photo projects. This page is all about the romantic simulation game Eberouge, which is coming out for both PlayStation and SEGA Saturn. It's advertised as a large-scale romance simulation where you build friendships and then maybe love with attractive girls. The page shows a calendar highlighting events in May, hinting at in-game schedules and dates. We get to see snapshots of different characters and scenes from the game, including a girl getting dressed, another in what looks like a school setting, and a sporty girl seemingly ready for athletics. There's a character voice section listing the voice actors for the main characters, including names like Shiratori, Yuri, Otani Ikue, and others. The game is set to be released in May, priced at 6,800 yen before tax, and will be on 2 Creedroms. It's highlighted as having full voice acting, meaning characters will speak during conversations. The game focuses on the period between childhood and adolescence, suggesting a coming-of-age romantic story in a school setting with various events to enjoy. They are also boasting about new graphic animation enhancements for the game. There's a mention of a radio program, 3 Stone Dreams of Eberouge Legend, on Culture Broadcasting and ABC Radio, plugging the game beyond just the magazine. It seems like they are really pushing this game as a big title at the time. This page is an advertisement for Gateway 2000 computers, specifically aimed at people looking to buy a laptop. They're telling potential buyers to hold off for a bit, teasing the arrival of their new Gateway Solo series of mobile PIACs. They claim these new SIACs will change how we think about mobile computing, which is pretty standard marketing speak. The ad features a May 1997 calendar, and they've circled the 28th, a Wednesday, indicating that's the day things kick off. It's all about the launch of the Gateway Solo line on May 28, 1997. You also get the classic Gateway 2000 logo, their slogan, "You've got a friend in the business," and all the Japanese contact info, phone number, website, and address. It's a straightforward ad trying to generate hype for their new laptops, launching at the end of May 1997. This page is all about the release of Basic for SEGA Saturn, a game development tool hitting shelves on June 27th. They're hyping it up as the way to make your own high-speed polygon games right on the SEGA Saturn. The ad emphasizes that even if you're just tinkering with simple programs, you can work your way up to creating arcade-quality games. They highlight the power of the Saturn's hardware, its graphics, sound, and processing capabilities, and how Basic for SEGA Saturn lets you tap into all of that. You can develop directly on the Saturn itself, or hook it up to a PC for a more serious development environment. They even point out that Basic as an interpreter is great because you can code and test things out instantly, which is a big advantage over compiled languages. The price is listed as 12,800 yen for the standalone version, and 14,800 yen for the cable connection type. There are some screenshots showing game code, and a very basic-looking 3D game example. Interestingly, there's a testimonial from Kenji Eno from Warp, talking about how Basic is a fundamental tool for expressing yourself, whether it's through techno music or game creation. The ad also mentions that it comes with things like a manual, floppy disk, a cable for PC connection, communication software, and even a 3D modeler specifically for SEGA Saturn Basic. The Sakura Wars Fan Club Communication Digital Fan Disc is a new release for series fans, priced at 4,800 yen. It features a newspaper-like format with character introductions, a compatibility game, and voice actor interviews. Additionally, several other Sakura Wars products are advertised. The Sakura Wars Imperial Secret File, Caredrom, costing 1,437 yen, offers artwork and CG images. The Sakura Wars Original Picture and Setting Material Collection, a book for 1,942 yen, contains detailed artwork, design documents, and staff interviews. Finally, the Flower Troop Columns Official Guide, for 933 yen, is a strategy guide for the puzzle game, with gameplay tips and character information. This page lists several game guides and supplemental materials. Highlights include the New Century Evangelion Second Impression Bible, a 96-page B5 guide with comprehensive game scenarios, character info, voice actor interviews, and hidden tips. It costs 1,000 yen. SEGA Magazine, Separate Volume Official Guide Volume 1 Scud Race, edited by AM2, features CG content showcasing the game's graphics and vehicle designs, and is a 56-page, all-color guide for 854 yen. Langrisser's Secret File on CD-ROM reveals secrets with visuals and setting materials for 1,437 yen. Last Bronx Official Artworks offers CG artwork and character designs for 1,600 yen. Lastly, the Quo Vadis 2-Starry Sky Strong Attack Strategy Guide is a 128-page, all-color, of 5 strategy guide for 1,000 yen. This page is the contents page for the magazine, outlining what's inside this issue. It kicks off with a special feature on page 65 that delves into new game genres, which is always a hot topic for gamers. Then on page 89, they continue their special series called Hidden Techniques A Go Special. This time it's part 2, and it's all about uncovering secret tricks and cheats for Saturn games, because who doesn't love a good cheat code? The Special Report section on page 22 gives us a sneak peek at some games. They're highlighting Silhouette Mirage, that treasure action game with the polarity switching mechanic, and Panzer Dragoon Saga, the RPG everyone was waiting for. Sonic Jam also gets a mention, probably showing off the classic games in one package. Then there's Slayers Royal, the strategy RPG based on the anime. They also list Real Sound, Kaze no Regret, known for its unique sound-only gameplay, Resident Evil, the survival horror hit, and Sentimental Graffiti, a dating sim. Finally, it lists Willy Wombat, Last Bronx, Salamander Deluxe Pack Plus, and Mega Man X4. The page has a cool image of a character, maybe from Silhouette Mirage, holding weapons, giving off that action vibe. This SEGA Saturn magazine page highlights new releases, upcoming titles, and reviews. New releases include Okina Megumi's Summer Fantasy of Love, Fighter's History Dynamite, Startling Odyssey 1, and NHL 97. Upcoming games feature Macross, Do You Remember Love, Langrisser IV, and Quiz Nanero Dreams. The Soft Complete Guide reviews games like Stake Swimmer 2 and Groove on Fight. AM sections cover The House of the Dead, Top Skater, and Virtual On. AM2 Express Neo Weekly discusses Virtua Fighter 3 and includes an interview. A game index provides an alphabetical list of titles with page numbers, including those mentioned elsewhere, like Ebarouge, Biohazard, Resident Evil, and Rockman X4, Mega Man X4, serving as a quick reference for readers. SEGA Saturn magazine announces exciting news. SEGA celebrated a clean sweep at the first SESA Awards, particularly with Sakura Wars. Limited editions of Sakura Wars, including a special edition in September and a reprint on June 20th, are planned. A Virtua Cop 2 and Gun Bundle is also set for release on July 24th. Saturn Day at Tokyo Joycopolis features a Virtua Cop Coliseum for SegaNet competition, with qualifiers on May 5th. There will also be a playtest for Mr. Bones. A Virtual On Drama CD release event for Counterpoint 009A is scheduled at Yamagiwa Soft in Akihabara on June 1st, including a talk show, autographs, and a lottery. Finally, a Virtua Striker 2 Sega Headquarters Cup tournament will be held on June 29th at Sega Headquarters, open to 64 participants aged 18+ with a passport. Upcoming events include a Heaven and Earth, Chain Required launch event in Tokyo on April 29th. Media Entertainment launched Kiss in the Dark, starting with Luminail light-up nail stickers, also in Tokyo on April 25th. Detective Jinguji Saburo is becoming a novel, with cover art by Tsukasa Hojo. Angelique fans can look forward to a variety CD. A signing event for Tobio Hume Freaks occurred in Akihabara on May 3rd. Ent Docomo is launching a voice message service, Tomo-chan Dial, with Tomo Sakurai. A second Vampire Hunter anime is slated for July 25th. The Jacom 2i exhibition is scheduled for June 22nd, and Techno Daruk's album Techno Deluxe is out. Tune-Up Generation, The Explosive Brothers' Let's and Go! WGP anime theme song, has been released, with a release event held by Maiko Matsumiya on April 29th. This page highlights various strategy guides and books for Sega Saturn owners. For puzzle game enthusiasts, it recommends guides for Sakura Wars Columns and Puyo Puyo Sun, offering character profiles, strategies, and both gameplay and story insights. Romance sim fans will enjoy the Tokimeki Memorial Forever With You official guide, focusing on winning over heroines, character details, and behind-the-scenes content. Beyond games, Tondemo Chuju Genshu 99 no Shinsu explores paranormal phenomena, tying some mysteries to the Saturn itself. Strategy RPG fans are advised to check out guides for Lunar Silver Star Story, emphasizing art and interviews, and Dragon Master Silk, with practical gameplay advice. Finally, The Convenience Store 2, Another World Perfect Guide, helps simulation game fans with store management across different worlds, although readability might be affected by its black and white printing. The top 15 best-selling Sega Saturn games, ranked during a Golden Week period, April 21st to May 4th, are led by the mature romance sim Kakusei. Following are Martian Successor Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Days, and Mobile Suit Gundam Z Zeta Gundam. Raging Loop, a kingdom-building sim, is in 4th place, and DX Jinsei game rounds out the top 5. Other notable titles include Sky Target, Professional Baseball Greatest 997, and Fighters Megamix. Venture game Neon Genesis Evangelion Second Impression saw increased sales during the holiday. Simulation titles like The Convenience Store 2, New Theme Park, and strategy RPG Quo Vadis 2 also ranked highly. Puzzle games Puyo Puyo Sun and Hanagumi Taisen Columns complete the list. The rankings are based on data from stores like Ginza Hakuhinkan Toy Park and Osaka J&P. This page showcases 2 distinct top lists. First, we have the User Data Top 20. What games do users want to be converted? Topping this chart is the Final Fantasy series, followed by Vampire Savior, Darkstalkers 3, and Neon Genesis Evangelion, Iron Maiden. Street Fighter 2i and House of the Dead also feature high in user demand for Sega Saturn ports. The list includes a variety of genres from RPGs like Dragon Quest and Phantasy Star to adventure games and visual novels, showing a wide range of games Saturn owners were hoping to see on their console. So this is the Shop Data Top 15 Arcade Video Games. This chart ranks the top arcade games in terms of popularity. Virtua Fighter 3 unsurprisingly takes the number 1 spot, followed by Tekken 3 and Cyber Troopers Virtual-On. Street Fighter 03, Street Fighter Alpha 3, and X-Men vs. Street Fighter also make the list, highlighting the popularity of fighting games in arcades at the time. Scud Race, Sega Super GT, is highlighted as the one-point check game and is in 9th position, with commentary suggesting excitement for national-level competitions for this racing game. The House of the Dead is also featured here in 6th position, indicating its arcade success too. Overall, this page gives us a snapshot of both consumer desires for Saturn ports and the current hot arcade titles. The top 30 most anticipated Sega Saturn games are revealed. Grandia, a highly anticipated RPG from GameArts, leads the pack with stunning visuals. Super Robot Taisen F, a strategy RPG, is second, with a July 25th release date and seeking fan feedback. Sonic Jam, a compilation of classic Sonic games, takes third, nearing completion with a June 20th release date. Other notable titles include Azel Panzer Dragoon RPG, Panzer Dragoon Saga, a RPG allowing dragon raising. Momotaro Dochuki, a party game, also makes an appearance. The page showcases a diverse range of genres. Additional exciting titles, Last Bronx and Kindaichi Shonen no Jikenbo SS, are highlighted as coming soon. This page presents the weekly Sega Saturn Readers Race Volume 52, showcasing a ranking of Sega Saturn games as voted by readers. It's like a popularity contest for all available games, and this week there are fresh movements at the top and bottom of the charts. The top spot is taken by Underclassmen, an adult-oriented adventure game, making its debut at number 1. Other highly ranked titles include Sakura Wars, Mysteria, The Realms of Lore, known as Gaia Gensuki in Japan, Eve Burst Error, and Virtua Fighter 2. You can also see familiar favorites like Nights into Dreams, Fighters Megamix, and Sonic R amongst the top games. The page explains how this ranking works. Readers vote and score games out of 10, and the average scores are compiled. For a game to be ranked, it needs at least 10 votes to ensure reliability. The rankings are updated in real time based on reader input. The Underclassmen section celebrates its number 1 position as a new entry, highlighting its impressive debut. Screenshots and character art are present, likely showcasing Underclassmen and Sakura Wars. Overall, it's a snapshot of what SEGA Saturn owners in Japan were enjoying and rating highly at this point in time. This page continues the SEGA Saturn Readers Race Rankings, Volume 52, moving down the chart from the top games we saw previously. It looks like we are in the mid to lower rankings now, and there are still some interesting movements. At number 187, we have a new entry, Mobile Suit Z Gundam, The Front Story Zeta's Pulse. It's an action game by Bandai. One reviewer felt it was a bit of a letdown compared to previous Gundam games, mentioning control issues and weaker gameplay. Moving down to number 229 is another new entry, Graduation Crossworld, an adventure game. Reviewer notes, it's a bit disappointing compared to earlier games in the Graduation series, especially in terms of the teacher-student relationship aspect. They also mention the Saturn version doesn't have many original elements. Finally, at number 254 is Sky Target, another new entry, which is a shooting game by SEGA. The reviewer thinks the graphics are better on the arcade version and mentions frame rate drops and loading times on the Saturn. They do say that if you can get past these issues, it can be an enjoyable game. The rest of the page is primarily the rankings table, listing game titles, genres, and average reader scores. It seems like a comprehensive overview of many SEGA Saturn games and how they are perceived by players. The SEGA Saturn Readers Race continues, featuring reviews and ranking updates. 2 new games are reviewed. Turf Win 96, a horse racing sim praised for its engaging breeding and tension, despite slow loading times, scored 6.710. Soup, a color-matching puzzle game, is easy to learn but potentially lacks long-term appeal, scored 6.610. The rankings see significant shifts. New Theme Park dropped drastically, while Z Gundam and Graduation Crossworld also underperformed. Godbird, Death Messenger, is gaining momentum, teasing a potential clash with the top-ranked Death Mask. The issue concludes with editor previews of upcoming magazine content. This page presents a mix of SEGA Saturn game reviews, reader engagement, and contests. Mini reviews cover Martian Successor Nadesico, Adventure, 7.2 predicted, 6.66 reader score. Command and Conquer, Strategy, 8.13 predicted, 7.33 reader score. Elf Okaru Monotachi, Adventure, 7.6 predicted, 5.66 reader score. And Let's Go Fishing, Bass 2, Fishing, 8.4 predicted, 8.0 reader score. Reader comments are featured, and a ranking of SEGA Saturn peripherals, Virtua Stick Pro, SEGA Saturn keyboard pad, and SEGA Saturn floppy disk drive leading is provided. The page also promotes 2 prediction contests, one for the debut ranking of Groove on Fight, and another for the odds score of The Unsolved. There is a recruitment for the SEGA Saturn Reader Race. Finally, a special presents section details prizes, including a power memory and joystick set, cordless pads, and joysticks, awarded via lottery. This page is all about the upcoming release of Sonic Jam for the SEGA Saturn, which combines Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic and Knuckles into one complete package. The page excitedly announces its near completion at 98% and highlights it as a grand culmination of the Sonic series. It mentions the game is set to release on June 20th, priced at 4,800 yen, and falls into the action game genre, supporting the Marucon controller. The article emphasizes that Sonic Jam finally completes the narrative arc that started in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, answering lingering questions and delivering the full story of Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles on the Saturn. It points out enhancements in presentation and the distinct gameplay styles of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Sonic is described as focused on speed and attack, excelling in combination play with Tails and utilizing new barrier abilities. Tails is highlighted for flight, which is unique to him, allowing him to fly freely for a limited time, and also swim underwater, unlike Sonic. Knuckles is noted for wall climbing and destruction abilities, able to jump and glide, cling to walls, and destroy obstacles with his punches, adding a different gameplay experience. The page also shows the Japanese and international box art for Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic Jam. This page explores the zone structure of Sonic Jam, highlighting the unique abilities of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. It details various zones, from Angel Island's fiery forests and Hydro City's underwater metropolis, to the icy slopes of Ice Cap, and the complex traps of Flying Battery. Zones like Mushroom Hill, Sandopolis, and Lava Reef offer diverse environments. Hidden Palace is Knuckles' sanctuary, while Sky Sanctuary features aerial battles. Death Egg serves as the final stage, featuring challenging battles and gravity-flipping mechanics. A special stage section discusses the 3D field for collecting Chaos Emeralds. An interview with Sonic Team reveals their approach to level design, emphasizing the individuality of the three characters and addressing player dissatisfaction with Sonic 2. They aim to maintain Sonic 2's speed while adding depth and focusing on scenario development. The interview also discusses the lock-on system, a solution to the game's size limitation. This system allowed the game to be split across 2 cartridges and combined for special stages. The page concludes with credits for director Iizuka Takashi and programmer Kitano Toshihiro, accompanied by images and screenshots. Sonic Jam for the Saturn features a lock-on system, allowing players to integrate Sonic 1, 2, and 3, expanding gameplay. Locking on Sonic 1 includes a password system, endless play, and the Get Blue Spheres bonus game. Locking on Sonic 2 lets you play as Knuckles in Sonic 2, accessing previously unreachable areas. Sonic 3 Lock-On provides the full Sonic 3 and Knuckles experience, with over 13 zones, and reveals Knuckles' true identity. Save data is supported. An interview with Sonic Team reveals development challenges, aiming to address slowdown and memory issues from the Mega Drive. They hope to introduce Sonic to new players, appeal to nostalgia, and create a valuable experience, believing in the game's vast content. This page is a special report spotlighting Treasure's new game, Silhouette Mirage, a Treasure action title. It's being touted as a must-see work, leading the charge for GDNet. The game uses digital animation and boasts a full-size active opening sequence. It features Shayna as the heroine who will decide the fate of the world and has a cast of about 11 voice actors, including Akiko Yajima, Yuko Mizutani, and Megumi Hayashibara. The page also gives some key details and bullet points, including a planned summer release, an undecided price point, it being a single-player game, and that it's recommended for all ages. We can see screenshots of the game showcasing the action and the character Shayna in various dynamic poses and situations. It looks like a fast-paced, visually striking action game from the masters at Treasure. This page continues the deep dive into Treasure's Silhouette Mirage. It expands on the game's setting, describing how Shayna awakens in a shelter and is immediately thrust into action. We get a look at some of the enemies she'll encounter, categorized by their attributes. First up is Cupito, a Mirage attribute enemy who seems deceptively cute but is apparently quite dangerous, especially in groups. Then there's Diable, a silhouette attribute enemy described as common cannon fodder, often found at the lowest levels. They carry candles and sometimes throw their heads. Finally, Alter is a normal attribute, a repurposed military machine from a bygone era, now used by the Mirage forces and enhanced for energy attacks. The page then introduces the Parasite system, obtainable through a mysterious organization called Alpha Merchant. Parasites are creatures that can attach to Shayna and grant her unique shots. There are 7 types in total, each providing a distinct attack. You can acquire these parasites at the Alpha Merchant shop, and even sell parasites you no longer need, especially if you find stronger or different types. We get a glimpse of some parasite shot types: Cabitus for wind attacks and bombs, Angara for lock-on lasers, Sloza for normal shots that level up, Glatny for powerful straight lasers, and Prygia for fire whips, Rusty for poison gas, and Pridey for boomerangs. These parasites seem to be a key element in customizing Shayna's combat abilities. This page continues explaining the gameplay of Silhouette Mirage. Focusing on the physical gauge and spirit gauge systems, it highlights that all characters in Silhouette Mirage, including Shayna, have these two gauges. The physical gauge represents a character's health. Taking damage from enemies of a different attribute will deplete this gauge. If it empties, the character is downed. This rule applies to all characters in the game, including Shayna. And if her physical gauge runs out, it's game over. The spirit gauge is used for special attacks. It depletes when using attribute-specific special moves. If the spirit gauge is empty, these special techniques cannot be used, and any attempt to use them will fail. The page introduces two new enemy types and their attack methods. First is Gregory, a silhouette attribute enemy that attacks with Tosaka Needle, a long-range projectile attack. The second enemy is Morse, a Mirage attribute enemy who can attack with Mira Juice, creating a space-bending attack. The page uses gameplay screenshots to illustrate these concepts, showing the gauges in action and examples of enemy attacks. It emphasizes that understanding and managing these gauges is crucial for success in Silhouette Mirage. Area 2 of Silhouette Mirage, Rakia, plunges players into a nighttime city filled with Cupito enemies. Shayna's companion, Morse, provides friendly support. The area features a potential early boss encounter with Sofal, hinting at a challenge. The stage introduces two silhouetted enemies, Paraketh, a swordsman with hidden invincible moves, and Goriate, a powerful enemy employed by Mirage troops. Shayna's gameplay offers more than just shooting, with reflector, grab, and jump mechanics. The grab allows for satisfying interaction with enemies. Special moves include the screen-clearing Parasite Bomb, the counterattack Reflector, and attribute change for strategic switching. Shayna can also perform 3 consecutive jumps. A tutorial mode is available at the start. This page continues the breakdown of Silhouette Mirage gameplay mechanics and enemy types. It highlights Alter 2, described as a normal attribute enemy, and showcases its Bullet is Vatcher 5 attack, which is a powerful barrage of 5 shots. The page also details how the reflector mechanic can be used to bounce back enemy projectiles. Moving on, it introduces Dunamis, who asks, "What's with the flowers?" and is encountered in what looks like a nighttime city environment. The text mentions fighting from both the background and foreground against Dunamis, with its multi-jointed tentacles being a key feature. The bottom half of the page focuses on gameplay actions. Grab actions are explained, starting with approaching an enemy and pressing reflector and grab buttons to initiate a hold. Following this are several sub-actions: up throw, down throw, and side throw, though these throws don't seem to inflict damage, but are useful for positioning. Surround lets you reposition by flipping over an enemy's head, and Steal Money is a punch attack to get money, described as a Mazer Aura state, likely referencing a fast-paced attack. Finally, Dash for fast movement and climbing walls, and Slide for low movement, dodging, and potentially dealing slight damage are described. Rabbit is a fast-paced action-fighting game for the SEGA Saturn, blending adorable character designs with intense combat. Releasing in June for 5,800 yen, it features 2-player battles. The game centers on the Beast God system, allowing characters to summon powerful animal spirits through command inputs. Players can choose from 8 characters. The game highlights 2 characters: Erlin, a seemingly cheerful assassin wielding a flute and rabbit spirit, and Tianren, a righteous 14-year-old boy with a white crane fighting style. The game's story, set in China, involves assassins and a shadowy organization seeking control of beast gods and their associated beast god pearls for power and freedom. Screenshots emphasize the contrast between cute character designs and the powerful in-game action. This page continues the character introductions for the SEGA Saturn fighting game Rabbit. It spotlights 6 more playable characters, each with a brief description and their associated beast god. First up is Rex, the cheerful spy operative, who uses Tonfa and a tiger spirit. Next is Yulan, described as a spoiled and lonely woman who is skilled at begging and uses tricky movements with her whip, empowered by a fox spirit. The third character is Jakku, the cold-blooded assassin, a man driven by revenge who fights with a blood-soaked cloth and a snake spirit. Then there's Iggy, who is described as body is male, but heart is female, a macho character who is actually a true Okama, or crossdresser. Iggy uses a wolf spirit, and appears to fight with powerful throws. Oen, the monkey, is a Kyoto-style actor who transformed into a beast and uses wind and water techniques, wielding a monkey spirit. Lastly, we have Eddie, who is all about standing out and uses flashy action, fueled by a boar spirit. He seems to rely on quick movements and tricks. Each character profile also mentions their unique beast god Pearl and includes a small screenshot showing them in action within the game and their character selection portrait. The descriptions highlight their personalities and fighting styles, continuing the game's theme of cute characters with powerful beastly transformations. This page details the core gameplay mechanics of the fighting game Rabbit, focusing on the innovative beast god system. It explains that each character possesses a unique beast god Pearl, and by accumulating stock during fights, players can summon these beast gods to enhance their combat abilities. The beast god summon section describes how to activate the beast god using button combinations and directional inputs once you have enough stock. Summoning a beast god not only looks visually impressive, but also grants tactical advantages in battle. Winning a match allows you to steal your opponent's beast god Pearl, adding a collectible element to the game. The Beast God Attack segment elaborates on the offensive power of these summoned entities. Beast Gods enhance regular special moves and unlock even more powerful super attacks, providing a significant boost to your fighting prowess. The page then transitions to explaining the game's amazing game system in more detail, showcasing various attack types. These include standard attacks, differentiated into upper, middle, and lower levels for strategic guarding. It also covers lever input attacks, continuous attacks or combos, and various throw techniques, including upper and lower throws, as well as air throws. Finally, the section on counterattack chance with throw attacks highlights the importance of throws as a means of creating openings for counterattacks, emphasizing the depth and strategic possibilities within Rabbit's combat system. This page unveils a scoop about the new episode in the Panzer Dragoon series, specifically Panzer Dragoon Saga, referred to here as a Kazel Panzer Dragoon RPG. The headline shouts about dragon form changes, promising exciting developments. It introduces a Gazel, described as a girl from the old century, connected to the ancient world depicted in the game, a place filled with forgotten technology and mysteries. The page features screenshots showcasing the gameplay, including a dragon in flight and the game's user interface, displaying health and magic points, along with weapon selection options. Text on the page highlights that, until now, information about Azel has centered on the game system. But this time, they are revealing a dramatic visual unveiling of the beautifully colored dragon. It's mentioned that the stunning appearance of the dragon will now be made clear. The game is confirmed as an RPG and is slated for release this summer. Finally, there is a special report section indicating the game's development progress, with a question mark for the completion percentage, suggesting it's still under development. This page delves deeper into the type select system in Azel, Panzer Dragoon RPG, revealing how players can customize their dragon's form. It explains that through the type select system, the dragon's personality can be changed, impacting its abilities and combat style. The page highlights 4 distinct dragon types: attack type, defense type, standard type, and mobility type. The attack type dragon is described as resembling a giant lance, emphasizing its offensive capabilities and ability to pierce through enemies. The defense-type dragon boasts immense wings and head armor, designed to protect riders, but may sacrifice speed for defense. The standard-type dragon is presented as the balanced middle ground between the other types. Finally, the mobility-type dragon is depicted as slender and agile, with compact wings and armor, and a tail resembling an airplane's horizontal stabilizer, suggesting high maneuverability. The page also touches upon dragon growth through leveling up, stating that beyond type select, experience points also contribute to the dragon's evolution. It questions what kind of appearance and abilities a dragon that has been raised with a particular focus will have. It also references the previous game, Panzer Dragoon 2's Y, mentioning that while dragons drastically evolved in that game, this time the player will have more control over the direction of their dragon's growth. This guide details dragon customization in Panzer Dragoon RPG, focusing on 4 key parameters: attack, defense, mind, and mobility. Adjusting these parameters on a radial dial alters your dragon's form and capabilities. Increasing one stat decreases another, allowing for tailored builds. The guide highlights 4 dragon types: Attack type focuses on offensive power for quickly defeating enemies.
Defense type prioritizes protection for enduring strong attacks.
Mind power type excels against heavily armored foes using powerful attacks. Mobility type emphasizes swift responses for dealing with threats quickly. By balancing these parameters, you can create a dragon optimized for specific combat scenarios. This page is about the amazing, seamless morphing in Panzer Dragoon Saga. It explains that the newly revealed Type Select feature has more to it than meets the eye. Building on the 4 parameter adjustments detailed on the previous page, the dragon's appearance now changes smoothly in real time based on player input. This means the dragon dynamically morphs its look, depending on how you adjust its stats. They highlight the multi-controller's role in ensuring smooth movement during flight sequences, giving a sense of soaring through the vast skies. The game, a Fazl, which is Panzer Dragoon Saga, will feature countless dragons, and this morphing system really brings them to life. We can see examples of dragon forms and their stats, like attack, defense, mind, and mobility.
There's also talk about exciting aerial actions to look forward to. The reviewer mentions that previous games in the series only allowed for simple rolling actions for dragons, but this new game promises much more diverse actions, and they are excited to see what's in store. They encourage players to stay tuned for more information. This page continues the interview with the Panzer Dragoon Saga development staff, focusing on the technical challenges and dragon design. They're pushing the SEGA Saturn to its limits, particularly with real-time morphing of dragons. They mention using techniques like light source processing and distant view scaling, striving for a level of graphical depth previously unseen on the Saturn. The design team aimed to create cool-looking dragons, emphasizing visual appeal. The programmer, Mr. Yamao, highlights the difficulty of controlling polygon morphing in real time and the effort required to achieve smooth transformations, joking that it's programmatically challenging. The designer, Mr. Sakai, emphasizes the focus on making the dragons visually impressive and cool. He mentions designing 5 basic dragon types as a starting point, and the team's dedication to detail. He adds that they wanted to avoid awkward transformations during morphing. We can see photos of programmer Mr. Yamao Tatsuo and designer Mr. Sakai Tomohiro. There's also a picture of the developers demonstrating the morphing feature, with one pointing at the screen showing gameplay. A defense/mind type dragon is also showcased as an example, highlighting the different dragon styles in the game. The interview concludes by stating that the dragon designs are nearing completion, with scenario work also progressing well, suggesting the game is coming together nicely. The interviewer notes their hands-on experience with a playable room, confirming the smooth morphing and enjoyable analog controller experience. This page is a special report about the upcoming RPG, Slayers Royal for the SEGA Saturn. It highlights the game's battle system, which is described as AI battle. The page emphasizes the freedom players have in combat, suggesting you can let the AI control units if you prefer a hands-off approach. It mentions characters like Lina, Naga, and Amelia, who are known for their chaotic personalities, implying the AI will reflect this. The article details 4 basic battle commands: attack, spell, counter, and auto. Auto is described as allowing units to act automatically. The page notes that while sometimes characters might act too recklessly, it's generally better to control them manually, especially in crucial moments. There's a topics section discussing the GD Net booth at the Tokyo Game Show, where the Saturn version of Slayers Royal was first shown. It mentions that many people were captivated by the lively 움직임 of Lina and the characters on screen. The article also mentions a talk event at the GD Net booth, featuring the voice actresses for Lina, Megumi Hayashibara, and Naga, Maria Kawamura. The event was a big success, and the cosplayer girls were also a significant attraction for fans. A photo at the bottom right seems to depict this stage event, showing the voice actresses and cosplayers. The Slayers Magic Lecture Part 1 in Slayers Royal teaches players to use magic. Starting with the wind spell Daimyuan, the guide explains spell selection, area of effect targeting, and the importance of charge time. Powerful spells like Dragon Slave, the ultimate single target attack, and La Tilt are also introduced. Battles are in real time, demanding quick decision-making. After issuing commands, players manage other characters, while the first one completes their action. Additional sections clarify battle mechanics. Poems. Fukidashi marks indicate actions: sword for attack, shoe for movement. Defeated enemies can drop items, such as a coin-like object marked with D.
The next page continues with more details on the upcoming Slayers Royal. It's getting close to completion, and this article gives us a look at the original story. The first section is about Encounter Reunion, describing how Lena, the main character, meets Guri again, seemingly by chance. It also mentions Naga joining their group, which is a bit unexpected. The next part is titled Demon Tribe's Ambition, and it talks about a chaotic situation with burning villages and people screaming. It seems monsters are attacking Lena and Lark, who is an elf child and possesses a pendant, a key to restoring the ancient city of Rosarium. The article implies that Zod and other demon tribes are after Rosarium's secrets.
It seems like the peaceful days are suddenly disrupted by these events.
Finally, there is a section called Super Alloy Pretty Girl Core Scramble Appearance, introducing Amelia, who is described as a princess who pretends to be righteous. It mentions other hero-like characters, including Hyro, and suggests there will be a chaotic and funny situation where characters meet in unexpected places, which might lead to some amusing dialogue and scenes. The Slayers Royal story unfolds with a decision battle, where Lena and her allies face a mysterious foe, ultimately leading to their defeat. Naga's enigmatic smile hints at deeper complexities.
The aftermath, titled The Battle Doesn't End by Sunrise, presents a calm yet uncertain resolution. Elf's siblings remain cheerful while Lena expresses doubt. Two figures approach Lena, potentially bearing a gift.
The adventure is still not over? Shows Naga laughing, suggesting impending trouble.
The story concludes with a comprehensive resolution, meditashi,
signaling a satisfying ending for this segment. A cast announcement reveals the voice actors, including Megumi Hayashibara as Lena Inverse and Maria Kawamura as Naga. Finally, a giveaway offers a signed illustration board to a lucky fan, with applications closing on May 30th. This page focuses on Real Sound Regret of the Wind, which is described as an interactive sound drama on 3 crew drums. It features an interview with Satoshi Ishigaki, who is in charge of the sound effects for this title. The article highlights the dedication to real sound, mentioning that mastering for the game took place at Abbey Road Studios in London from April 20th to 27th. Ishigaki explains that the goal is to create natural and realistic soundscapes, unlike typical radio dramas, where only essential sounds are used. For real sound, they are incorporating ambient noises, even subtle sounds of clothing movement and chair creaks, to create a sense of realism and presence. Ishigaki elaborates on microphone positioning, explaining that for footsteps, they would usually place microphones near the feet, but for this project, they positioned mics around chest height to capture natural body movement noises. He also talks about recording in real locations, like offices and staff homes, to achieve authentic sounds. He humorously mentions the challenge of recording train sounds, needing to actually ride trains to capture the right audio, even considering specific train lines like the Blue Train or Tokaido Line to get the desired sound. It sounds like they are going to great lengths to make the sound experience incredibly immersive for this title. Mr. Ishigaki discusses the intensive sound design for Real Sound Regret of the Wind, highlighting the extensive time commitment, potentially 6 months for a 3-hour drama. He emphasizes creating natural, realistic soundscapes, moving beyond basic sound effects to portray distance and environment authentically. This involves meticulous recording techniques, capturing distant sounds at their corresponding levels, and creating visual sounds that resonate with memory. He uses enhancing lower frequencies for impactful sounds like cannons. Ishigaki warns against overlayering and highlights the importance of subtle ambient sounds like classroom noises. He aims to make studio-recorded sounds feel location-specific, hoping to elevate the appreciation for sound design in Japan, often undervalued compared to visuals. The process begins with the script, building layered sound scenarios to create immersive experiences. This page highlights Biohazard, known internationally as Resident Evil. It's presented as a special report and emphasizes the game's horror elements. The page features artwork of Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine ready for action, guns in hand. Several screenshots show gameplay within the iconic mansion setting, showcasing the eerie atmosphere. Enemies like giant wasps, crows, and spiders are prominently displayed, pointing to the monstrous threats players will face. The text focuses on the game's core of horror, emphasizing the fear and tension players will experience within the mansion's mysteries and hidden secrets. It mentions puzzles and emphasizes the terrifying encounters within the game. One section is titled Forest of Fear, specifically focusing on crows, and another section talks about blood trails in the mansion, hinting at the gruesome nature of the game. The overall tone is that of an exciting preview, showcasing the terrifying world of Resident Evil, and promising a truly frightening gaming experience.
This page continues the special report on Biohazard, which we know internationally as Resident Evil, for the SEGA Saturn. The page focuses on the terrifying aspects of the game, highlighting the Saturn version Fear. It mentions S.TARS, the elite team, emphasizing their teamwork and skills in handling dangerous investigations, with a quote showing camaraderie with Chris Redfield. The page highlights that team members can become strong partners for the player during the game. Screenshots showcase the eerie mansion environments and the terrifying enemies players will encounter. We see images of the zombie dogs, described as wild dogs, that have tasted human flesh, relentlessly attacking anyone they find in the mansion gardens, with no way to hide or evade them. Another screenshot emphasizes resource management, noting that while ammo can be found, it's limited, adding to the horror as players need to be mindful of every shot. The page also describes the combat mechanics as being user-friendly, with an auto-aiming system to make it accessible even for players who are not experts in action games, ensuring everyone can experience the horror. It concludes by stating that for enemies that cannot be reasoned with, combat is the only option, making every encounter a fight for survival, a core element of the Biohazard experience. The game is announced for release on July 25th at a price of 4,800 yen, and is classified as a horror adventure title with a first-run bonus. This page is all about the love simulation game Sentimental Graffiti from NEC Interchannel. It's exciting news as the long-awaited opening movie is finally finished, and they are showing off the latest in-game screenshots to please the fans. Apparently, a digital picture collection was already released on April 11th. The big buzz is that all 12 heroines from Sentimental Graffiti are launching their solo careers as singers. Starting from May 21st, creds featuring songs by characters like Manami Sugihara, Honoka Sawatari, and Wakana Ayasaki will be released over 4 months, with 3 creds dropping each month. Each CD will include original songs made just for each girl, plus messages from the heroines themselves, along with special artwork. TBS Radio's Sentimental Night radio show is also adding new stories to its drama segment. The page shows artwork of the game's heroines and also includes photos of real young women who are likely involved in the project, maybe as voice actresses or singers. Sentimental Graffiti is a romance game where the player navigates Japan to meet heroines, beginning with Honoka. The gameplay involves increasing heroines' good feeling while managing frustration. Players use action points, money, and time shown in the game interface, traveling via Express Night Train. The game offers city locations for heroine encounters and suburban spots for sightseeing. Efficient resource management is critical as time and money are limited. Players can work part-time jobs, and phone calls are restricted. Meeting all 12 girls requires strategic planning. The story allows for dramatic encounters and ultimately culminates in a choice of heroine, leading to multiple endings and replayability. The player ultimately chooses their true heroine. This page showcases the latest illustrations and opening movie for Sentimental Graffiti, focusing on the game's 12 heroines. The opening movie is described as a dream sequence from the protagonist's perspective, featuring the heroines dancing against vibrant backgrounds. The interviewer spoke with Mr. Yoshida from Marcus, the director overseeing production, who mentioned the opening is intentionally abstract, like something from Evangelion, and depicts the heroines against backdrops of blue sky and the sea. There's a spotlight on Ando Yuko, one of the heroines. Her profile describes her as a childhood friend, mentioning a poignant story about her moving away and leaving a goodbye letter, which the protagonist keeps with a photo. The page also touches on the technical aspects of the opening movie animation, noting it uses 4 frames per second, which is less than standard animation, but was chosen to avoid visual confusion during scene transitions. The animator faced challenges due to this unique timing. The page also includes a profile for Osaki Nana, detailing a childhood memory of finding a music box together and a later encounter with her father. This section of Sentimental Graffiti profiles 4 heroines. Ito Akira taught the protagonist violin, sparking a shared dream he fulfilled, though they separated afterwards. He hopes to play for her again, remembering her influence. Sugihara Manami and the protagonist nursed a bird back to health, promising to go to school together. Though she moved away the next day, he cherishes her message and is reminded of her by birdsong. Sawa Honoka, who previously avoided male friendships,
developed feelings for a boy she exchanged diaries with after he protected her. Finally, Shichisuase met a boy during a summer meteor shower. When he moved away at summer's end, she began visiting a hill annually, hoping to see him again. This page delves deeper into sentimental graffiti, with an interview featuring someone called Ueda. He mentions the game's opening emphasizes a dreamlike quality, and initially they considered making the characters' faces very pale for a horror-like feel, but decided against it as it went too far. Ueda explains that the short cutscenes in the game, only about 2 seconds long when played back from the 4-panel manga source, are deliberately surreal and dreamlike, not meant to be realistic story moments. He touches upon the 12 heroines, saying they wanted to ensure players could meet, and like any of them, emphasizing player choice in who becomes the heroine in their playthrough, and hinting at deeper character motivations. The page also mentions a special present for readers, a set of replica school badges from the game, available to a lucky draw winner who applies by post, detailing how to apply and the deadline. The bottom right image and text describes a part of the game's story where a boy moves away before confessing his feelings, leading to yearly visits to a hill by a girl hoping to meet him again, highlighting the sentimental themes. This page introduces 4 of the heroines it seems we can meet in sentimental graffiti. Starting from the top left, we have Hoshino Akiko, and her story mentions a movie that couples always watch, and a transfer student. Then at the top right is Mori Natsuki, and her section talks about a relay race, and winning but feeling no joy because of a missed baton pass with a boy who moved away on the day of the race. Moving to the bottom right, we have Yamamoto Rurika, and her story is about accidentally breaking an ammonite fossil and taking the blame for a boy. Lastly, at the bottom left is Matsuoka Chi, who is part of a band performance at a cultural festival and is singing a love song. It sounds like each of these girls has a different background and story, offering a variety of romantic paths within the game. This page is a feature introducing the game Willy Wombat. It seems to be an action game where you play as Willy Wombat, who is running away to escape being caught. The text highlights the 360-degree rotating viewpoint, allowing you to see the field from various angles and move to different locations, which is a major feature. The game is described as a dramatic action game about running towards freedom, defeating pursuers, and it's called Willy Wombat. It uses an around quarter-view field. The screenshots show in-game action, with Willy Wombat navigating different environments, including what looks like a lava-themed area with enemies that look like penguins. The text mentions that this is a story about a man fighting for freedom, and this area introduction gradually reveals Willy's purpose and the enemy's existence. It says the game is set to be released on June 27th and is an action game for all ages, playable by 1 player. The game received a 90% completion rating. The game's first area is called Cave of Zibd and consists of multiple stages. Clearing stages progresses Willy toward his goal. Traps and tricky mechanisms will hinder Willy's progress. The text emphasizes the charm of action games lies in items and mechanics. The character Willy is presented as a heroic protagonist with adult appeal, unique to the outlaw genre. This page focuses on the character Jabba in Willy Wombat and his role in the game. Jabba is described as a wise old man who holds various knowledge and is helping Willy. The page explores the question of Jabba's true intentions, hinting that his helpfulness might be more than simple goodwill, adding a layer of mystery. The page explains the game's token system. You can collect tokens, and Jabba will offer surf in exchange for them. It shows screenshots of Willy encountering Jabba and making a choice. The page then moves on to the Miracle Gem, an item Willy is searching for, described as a jewel that changes colors. Willy is seeking freedom, and the Miracle Gem seems connected to this pursuit. The page further details gameplay mechanics related to gems and tokens. Blue jewels, called gems, are found floating in the stages. Collecting these gems allows you to acquire tokens at the stage clear screen. The number of tokens depends on the percentage of gems collected. If you collect all gems in a stage, you can get 3 tokens, which are essential items, and can only be obtained this way. The page includes screenshots demonstrating gem collection in a stage, and the stage clear screen showing the gems and bonus being awarded with tokens. It mentions that in the early stages, weak ghost-like enemies called Shai Zako appear in large numbers, and collecting them can give you boomerangs. This page talks about the various traps and obstacles in Willy Wombat that will hinder your progress. It's not just enemies you need to worry about. They are showcasing some of these traps from Area 1. One example is flying needles and simple spike traps. Another trap is the key tile, a switch that needs a power key item to activate, which then opens up new paths.
There's also a section about Java statues.
These statues resemble Java, the character from the previous page. But their purpose is unclear. They are found in areas with lava, and it's hinted they might trigger various events when touched.
Next up is a special technique called Force.
You can find a blue book hidden in Area 1, which teaches Willy this powerful move, specifically the Blue Force.
To use it, you need Force power items.
When activated, it's incredibly strong, wiping out surrounding enemies in one go with a flashy animation. They mention it's a very powerful move. Finally, the page introduces the Pursuers, characters chasing Willy.
These are mysterious figures with unknown intentions.
One of them is male, likely Meryl in the English version, the only female pursuer revealed so far. It's questioned what their motives are and why they are after Willy. Willy Wombat's gameplay features include a close-range boomerang attack, a button, a dual boomerang shot, B button, for ranged attacks, and a standard jump, C button. Combining a plus B activates Force, a powerful super move fueled by force power items. The L and R buttons control an around quarter view camera, aiding exploration. Boomerangs serve a dual purpose, also used to collect items. In Area 1, Willy obtains the Miracle Gem, but is pursued by enemies. The page introduces Dagda, the leader of the pursuers, and a formidable power fighter. The text concludes by hinting at future revelations about the pursuers and the Miracle Gem's power, setting the stage for upcoming content. This page shines a spotlight on the character Kurosawa from the SEGA Saturn fighting game Last Bronx. Kurosawa is all about brute force, showcasing his Kurosawa-style violent fighting technique, using a wooden staff as his weapon of choice. The text emphasizes the raw power of his attacks, comparing his style more to a street brawl than refined martial arts, referring to it as Kenka. You can see screenshots of Kurosawa in action, including his confident winning pose and intense gameplay moments. The special reports section gives us a development update, stating the game is 45% complete, and excitingly, 8 characters are now playable in this Saturn version of Last Bronx. The article is hyped about the game's progress, mentioning that the Saturn version is capturing the arcade feel, especially the satisfying impact when Kurosawa connects with his wooden staff. Game details indicate Last Bronx is a fighting action title planned for a summer release, with the price yet to be decided, and of course, it's got versus play so you can challenge your friends. Kurosawa's details are also listed, revealing his team is Motomura Corps, and his weapon as a wooden staff. This page showcases Lisa from Last Bronx, highlighting her stage called Moonlight Garden, which is now complete. The stage description talks about a sophisticated building and a serene atmosphere, giving it a mystical name, Garden of Moonlight. We see Lisa in action in several screenshots, emphasizing her double-stick weapon style. The article notes her graceful movements, like dancing with her skirt swaying rhythmically. It describes her as a powerful character despite her cute appearance, fitting into the band Orchids as a drummer. She's easy to use for beginners, thanks to strong techniques like the Orchids special beat. There's an interview section with the producer, Mr. Yasutabe, about the current state and future of the game's development. He mentions that the characters are pretty much done for this version, and they are working on graphical enhancements like afterimages. He talks about addressing user feedback from game shows to improve the visuals and make them more impactful. He also mentions they're working on voice recording and adding original elements to the Saturn version, aiming for a polished final product and asking fans to look forward to future announcements. This page highlights Joe, a character from Last Bronx, who utilizes nunchaku in his fighting style. His gameplay revolves around continuous attacks, with moves like the updraft shot and double hurricane shot, essential for combos, emphasizing opponent bouncing. His profile reveals his name, Inagaki Joe, his affiliation with the Shinjuku Mad Team, and his weapon. The page also introduces the expansion of the Last Bronx world through a radio drama.
Released alongside the Saturn game, the drama features the original arcade voice actors.
Interviews with the voice actors and Yasubeshi, responsible for the scenario and character images, discuss the shift to audio-only character portrayal, emphasizing the importance of dialogue and listener imagination. The actors aim to showcase a different perspective of their characters compared to the game. This page spotlights Zaimoku from Last Bronx, highlighting him as a powerhouse character who uses a massive hammer to dominate opponents on the ground. He is described as a ground-based, giant hammer fighter. The page shows screenshots of his gameplay in stages like Nightmare Island and Tokyo Game Show version. He's known for devastating hammer blows and a finishing move called the Worker Bomb, emphasizing powerful, direct attacks. The article notes, Zaimoku's victory pose is expressive and detailed, showcasing his character. Despite his limited move variations, Zaimoku is effective at feinting and command throws. The page also mentions the dramatic camera angles during throws are a key part of Zaimoku's appeal and encourages readers to look forward to more information in the next issue. Below the game content, there's a section featuring interviews with voice actors associated with the last Bronx radio drama. We see images of voice actresses, Mina Tominaga as Lisa, Nobuyuki Hiyama as Tommy, and Norio Wakamoto as Kurogane. The interviews discuss their perspectives on portraying their characters in an audio format and how it differs from the game, focusing on dialogue and imagination. The radio drama Last Bronx is being broadcasted on Culture Broadcasting and Radio Osaka, with specific timings mentioned. The page lists other voice actors and staff involved in the radio drama production. The next page introduces Pana-chan, a brand new OVA adventure game for the SEGA Saturn. This game is highlighted as a high-quality anime experience that you can play. It boasts impressive anime visuals and character designs by Yoshihiro Kimura, who also worked on titles like King of Braves Gao Gaigar. Pana-chan, the main character, is a 16-year-old girl, voiced by Minami Takayama, and described as a bit clumsy but kind. The game is stated to be around 90 minutes long, offering a substantial OVA-style story to enjoy. It's designed to be an animation movie game, different from typical adventure games with game elements integrated into the animation. The page mentions it's suitable for players of all ages. We get some release info too. It's coming out August 8th from Imagineer, priced at 6,800 yen, or 7,800 yen for a limited edition. The 70% mark suggests this is a progress report or preview, giving us a sneak peek at what's coming. It seems like a charming and visually appealing anime adventure, quite a contrast from the intense fighting action of Last Bronx on the previous page. This page continues to introduce Pana-chan, highlighting the game's story and character details. We learn the main character, Kengo, is a bored video store worker at Hang On, who draws his ideal girl because he finds his days dull without any cute girls around. His manager then tasks him with creating a recruitment advertisement. Suddenly, the girl Kengo drew appears on his computer screen. It's Pana-chan! She accesses the computer, and it turns out she's the girl he drew. The page then introduces Pana-chan in more detail, stating her estimated age is 16, and she's voiced by Naomi Nagasawa. She's described as following Kengo to Hang On and working there, portrayed as a bit clumsy but kind. There's a humorous section commenting on Pana-chan's design, particularly her bouncy chest, and joking about it, defying the laws of physics, suggesting it's a deliberate and exaggerated design choice for the character. Finally, we learn about a limited edition of the game, which includes Pana-chan and Toraburu pins, a premium CD single with a theme song sung by Naomi Nagasawa, and a special slipcase set. The page emphasizes Pana-chan's sex appeal and suggests players will encounter trouble in the game alongside her. Overall, it paints a picture of a lighthearted and slightly risque anime adventure game, with a focus on its charming and well-endowed main character. Konami's Salamander Deluxe Pack Plus is a compilation of the classic Salamander shooting games, set to release on June 19th for 5,800 yen. This all-ages title offers two-player simultaneous play. The package celebrates the series, known for its battles against the giant life-form Doom, and its connection to the Gradius series. The collection includes a total of 3 titles, featuring the latest installment, Salamander 2, and incorporates familiar horizontal scrolling stages and unique gameplay. The Deluxe Pack Plus also boasts a new original opening movie, celebrating the revival of the series after 11 years. Screenshots of Salamander 2 are showcased, highlighting gameplay with new features like Option Shoot. The page further establishes the franchise's legacy by listing the original release dates of Life Force, Salamander, and Salamander 2. This article reviews the Salamander Deluxe Pack Plus. specifically praising the recreation of Salamander 2 for the SEGA Saturn. The review emphasizes the high quality of the port, suggesting it's a near-perfect replica of the arcade version, supported by room-check screen analysis. Screenshots showcase iconic moments from both Salamander and Salamander 2, including boss encounters and stage features. The inclusion of Life Force, the international version of Salamander, is also highlighted, acknowledging its Gradius influences. The nostalgic column shares a personal experience with the game's challenging nature from 1986, contrasting it with the Super Mario craze and highlighting the game's impact. The article concludes with a teaser for the next issue, promising a deeper dive into the completion of Salamander 2 and a look at a boss from Stage 5. Mega Man X4, arriving this summer, introduces significant new elements to the series. Players can now choose between X and Zero from the start, each offering unique gameplay. Zero utilizes a beam saber, gaining must-kill techniques by defeating bosses, while X uses his buster. The game incorporates CG graphics and expands on the content found in previous titles, including the animated movies from the Saturn version of Mega Man X3. The story introduces new characters like Double, General, Colonel, and Iris. Familiar actions such as charged buster shots are enhanced. Dash, jump, and other visual changes are featured. The game promises a different experience, with the core theme being, "Beam Saber cuts through everything." This article delves into the diverse and expanding world of video game genres, aiming to categorize and explore them in detail. It highlights a wide array of genres, providing examples from various consoles, not just the SEGA Saturn. The piece lists and describes several unique and niche genres, such as neo-romance game, hybrid adventure game, hyper-science adventure, interactive sound drama, surrealism adventure, dungeon raising simulation, and more. Examples from the Saturn, PlayStation, and other platforms are included to showcase the breadth of genres available. The article's purpose is to provide a comprehensive overview of game genres. This page outlines the categorization of video game genres, starting with 8 main types: action, adventure, sports, simulation, role-playing, shooting, table, and other. Each genre is briefly defined, highlighting key features like real-time combat, action, exploration, and choice-driven narratives, adventure, realistic sports simulations, character development, role-playing, and competitive shooting. Table games encompass digital versions of classic board and card games. The other category is a catch-all, the text that examines the evolving genre landscape, specifically exploring the classification of love simulation strategy games. It suggests that despite their different themes, these games share strategic elements, and thus could potentially be categorized within the simulation genre, reflecting the blurring lines and dynamic nature of game genre definitions. This text explores 4 emerging game genres. Hybrid adventure blends styles, exemplified by Virus, a cyber-noir detective game. Neo-romance games cater to female players, with titles like Angelique Special 2, focusing on romance and becoming a queen. Hyper-science adventure centers on realistic mysteries and scientific deduction, with The Unsolved as a newspaper clipping-style example. Lastly, interactive sound drama emphasizes sound and drama, akin to radio plays. Real Sound Kaze no Regret, by Warp, a Saturn game, exemplifies this, prioritizing audio with minimal visuals and featuring voice acting. Developer Inno stresses the focus on the experience rather than adherence to genre conventions. This article introduces 6 new game genres, each with a unique and playful name. Surrealism adventure, inspired by games like Myst, embraces surreal and illogical experiences. Its creation SLG, like Azito, allows players to build and manage their own secret hideouts. Dungeon raising/training, as seen in Chaos Seed, flips the script, letting players cultivate and nurture dungeons. 3D polygon adventure shooting, exemplified by Belt Logger 9, merges adventure and shooting with a focus on storytelling. Galactic Strongest Shooting, with Chokyushi Ultra Strongest Galaxy Strongest SHT, promises over-the-top shooting action. Lastly, 3D Escape Power Action, showcased by Tonzura-kun, combines escape elements with slapstick action. The article highlights the quirky concepts and offers commentary from developers and magazine staff, providing insights into the genre's definitions. This page continues the discussion about new game genres,
focusing on the process of defining these genres. It highlights the sometimes arbitrary nature of genre classifications, suggesting that marketing and sales considerations often play a significant role. The page features a cartoon strip illustrating the perspective of game developers, marketing, and magazine editors struggling to categorize games into genres like action RPG and shooting. The article includes a section titled, Unexpectedly Serious Sega Game Genres, and interviews Nanyu Hiroshi from Sega Enterprises, a member of the CS promotion department. Nanyu explains that Sega doesn't have strict rules for genre classification, and it's mostly based on what feels right at the time of marketing. He mentions virtual cinema as a unique genre created for the Mega CD game Yumemi Yakata no Monogatari, Mansion of Hidden Souls, emphasizing that if a name helps users understand the game's image, even a funny name is acceptable. He concludes that ultimately, game quality is more important than genre names. The page uses screenshots from games to illustrate the genre discussion, including what looks like an RPG battle scene and a side-scrolling action game. The overall tone is lighthearted and reflective, acknowledging the sometimes humorous and subjective nature of game genre definitions in the gaming industry. This page is all about the exciting reveal of Mazinkaiser's in Super Robot Wars. It's presented as a brand new Mazinger robot created by Dynamic Pro. And it's a real powerhouse, described as being almost godlike or demonic in its strength. The article mentions that anyone from the Mazinger team can pilot it, and in the game you can choose to upgrade Mazinger Z into Mazinkaiser, although Great Mazinger remains a separate unit. They talk about the design being really modern and sharp, with some sketches shown to highlight this. It also dives into the Mazinger series lineage, explaining that while Mazinger Z was the first, Mazinkaiser was actually a prototype conceived even before Z, but further developed later by Professor Yumi and Dr. Early Maiden. The article briefly compares it to Mazinger Z and Great Mazinger, emphasizing its unique and powerful presence within the Mazinger lineage. Banpresto's Mr. Terra Tarada discusses Super Robot Wars Fee and Mazinkaiser's development. Mazinger Z's consistent endgame presence and the approach to its upgrades are highlighted. Dynamic Pro praised Mazinkaiser's inclusion, enhancing the game's impact. The game brings back the protagonist system and offers character designs from two artists, emphasizing voice acting with diverse archetypes and corresponding voice actors like Hikaru Midorikawa and Tomokazu Seki. Super Robot Wars F features CG transformation scenes for Getter Robo. The page also includes a reader submission section, encouraging fan contributions in various creative categories, like character design and fan art. This page is showcasing two games. First up is Sea Bass Fishing 2, advertised as an even more realistic and fun fishing simulation game. It boasts enhanced 3D graphics creating realistic visuals and thrilling fights. The advertisement highlights its immersive gameplay and features screenshots showcasing different fishing scenarios and interface elements. It mentions Daiwa, a well-known fishing gear brand, suggesting a collaboration to enhance realism. They are running a campaign where you can win in-game prizes and possibly Daiwa fishing equipment. The bottom half of the page advertises Marika World of Truth, a psychic suspense RPG, coming in 1997 from Victor Interactive Software. It's described as a dramatic story set in modern Tokyo, featuring impressive voice acting and visually captivating scenes that unfold in full-screen animation battles. The advertisement features anime-style character art and promises over 4 hours of visual scenes. Dream Access features fan contributions, including a mascot and Games This Week, written by Lark, a staff member. Cosplay, particularly of Honey from Burning Rangers, is celebrated. Words of Love expresses nostalgia for Beep magazine and details the editorial department's chaotic environment, including elementary school tours. The Other Day discusses motion sickness, drinking and driving, and game references. Problem Boys and Girls answers reader questions about games and consoles, with positive reactions to submissions. Long Time No See includes shoutouts and a mention of a ceiling collapse. The questionnaire humorously addresses how to handle survey respondents over 100 years old. Sleeping While Standing recounts a relatable workplace story about sleep deprivation from gaming, while also joking about mastering the art of sleep at work. The SEGA Saturn Users Conference 97 features opinions from Saturn fans. One reader praises the Saturn's 2D capabilities, lamenting a lack of innovation in 2D releases. Another criticizes inconsistent button layouts in games, impacting playability. A third recounts their Tokyo Game Show experience,
highlighting the 3D Sonic demo, meeting a developer, and a memorable act of kindness involving an umbrella. The conference also includes short, light-hearted comics submitted by readers on various relatable topics, like lateness and game-related lottery wins. This week's content includes a section dedicated to desired game ports with accompanying artwork, and another focusing on brush pen techniques for character expression, featuring Toe, So, and Sonic. A column titled, Young Master is Now, hunts down past contributors, specifically those behind the Leaders Station page, now found in Nara Park. Wonderful Strategy Method provides game tips, focusing on CD case organization. Planning Hausbachen invites original game concept submissions. The Dengeki Secret Release King's Ear section offers short news, highlighting real sound, upcoming games like F1, Elementary School Student, and a Sega/Bandai collaboration on Moteta Tamagotchi. It also includes brief office gossip about game development. This week's reader illustrations showcase diverse fan art. Featured works include Groove Fight, Vampire Savior, Battle Blade Koryomaru, Sakura Wars, Sonic, Super Robot Wars, and Flicky. The Dream Museum section highlights an upcoming Sonic and Knights special, enjoying previous adventure card illustrations, and anticipating Chunsoft and Beretta artwork. The This Week's Gasuketsu Award features a character skateboarding. Program information details submission guidelines. Specify software title, use postcards or thick paper with black ink, avoid pencil/light-colored/blue inks, and carefully apply screen tones. Bulk submissions are accepted, and clear name/address information is crucial. The address for submissions to SoftBank SEGA Saturn Magazine, quote, is provided. This page is an advert for something called the Mid-Cyber Program, promising to boost your sports skills. They're talking about improving your power and speed by 3 to 5 times in just 1 month, which sounds pretty wild. It's all about harnessing your brainwaves to get stronger and faster. They're even giving away a free mid-battle manual book and a secret tape that supposedly makes you 100% stronger. It looks like it's a mail-in offer. The advert shows pictures of people training and includes testimonials. One guy, 17-year-old Yazima Toshio, says he couldn't believe how much stronger his punch got. Another person, Onishi Satoshi, 15, says he can now beat anyone in a fight. There's also 17-year-old Kosaka Junji, who claims he can now run 100 meters in 11.4 seconds. Someone named Yamaguchi Kyoichi, aged 18, says he's thankful for the course. And another, Miura Susumu, 16, mentions he's overcoming bullying thanks to it, so it sounds like it's aimed at improving physical ability and maybe even confidence. If you're interested, you can send off for this free book and tape. The instructions are listed with boxes to tick for what info you want and where to send your details. Address, name, age, etc. The contact address is for JBA Brainpower Research Center in Tokyo. They're open from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and Saturdays. This article offers a behind-the-scenes look at Warp, developers of unique Saturn games, focusing on their real sound technology. President Ino Kenji discusses the project's crucial development phase, highlighting positive user feedback and the challenges of mastering. Programmer Sato Naoki, from the development department, is debugging the sound program while also preparing original manuscripts. Fan feedback, titled Saturn Communication, includes postcards related to real sound. A fan criticizes game companies for one-sided criticism and lack of responsibility, specifically mentioning Enemy Zero. Shino playfully addresses Sato in a note, acknowledging Sato's dedication to the project. The article concludes with a lighthearted section featuring a cartoon and staff comments. The staff, acknowledging the pressure of expectations and movie deadline waiting mood, aim to deliver good software. They emphasize the importance of meeting player expectations and are working hard to create compelling games. This page is advertising a few interesting books. At the top right, it's promoting Otaku Amigos, a book where Okada Toshio, Karasawa Shunichi, and Nomoto Naoki, 3 prominent figures in the otaku world, discuss hot topics. It's described as a book compiling their lively talks, shedding new light on demo creations, and aiming for a paradigm shift with many engaging discussions. There's even a list of Omake gorgeous guests, which includes Itu Shinpei, manga artist, Kaida Yuji, illustrator, Solbon K. Seiko, manga artist, Takeuchi Kentaro, manga critic, Tatekawa Danshun, rakugoka storyteller, Terashima Reiko, manga artist, Nakano Tadashi, film director, and Yamamoto Hiromu, SF writer and society president. So a real who's who of creative types. Below that, on the left, is an advert for a book called Dungeon Rhapsody by Sakata Hiroko, a comic described as being based on the Super 64 Good Review column, presented in book form. It sounds like a humorous comic anthology from a manga artist who's also a game freak. The price is listed at 971 yen. On the right, another book is advertised. Gamer Machine Sings Daisy Daisy's Song by Ono Fuyumi, with art by Mizutama Keinosuke. This is a collection of essays focusing on Super Famicom, Good Review columns, and Tokyo Wonderland, written by the well-known novelist Ono Fuyumi. It seems to delve into retro game culture from the East and West, illustrated by Mizutama Keinosuke, and it's priced at 971 yen as well. This page is showcasing the new Sakura Wars trading card game. It's a fresh set of cards with 5 different types to collect. There are character cards highlighting the cast, story cards that depict scenes from the game, crystal cards, which are probably special rare cards, puzzle cards you can piece together, and art call cards. If you manage to collect all 108 cards, you can apparently relive all the famous moments from Sakura Wars. They're even running a special campaign right now where you can get your hands on a special gold card. For the latest Sega news, they're still promoting the Sega JoyJoy telephone service for weekly updates and the Sega Fax Club if you have a fax machine, offering exclusive info and even prize draws. They also mention the Sega Personal Computer Network if you're online with NiftyServe. Make sure to check your local game stores for the latest Sega Video Magazine and Flash SEGA Saturn videotapes. Video Magazine Volume 6 is out on April 23rd and features Sonic Jam, Samurai Showdown, Bushido Blade, and Willy Wombat among others. Flash SEGA Saturn Volume 16 has titles like Three Dirty Dwarves, Sonic Jam Again, Stakes Winner 2, Fishing Koshien, Martian Successor Nadesico, Chowtoki Daranson Macro Mouse, Angelique Special 2, and Free Talk Studio. Tomoko Sasaki's Manamoan column covers a live game show with sound effects and a warp booth. She humorously recounts post-show requests and provides a step-by-step guide to drawing a Mo character, including a regrettable merchandise tie-in. Sega PR Daily features Take-Chan's reviews of Golden Week entertainment, including Eve and Command & Conquer, enjoyed on a large screen. Fukazawa highlights cosplay photos and the upcoming game show. Honey Hanaya promotes a Tokyo Joyopolis event on May 18th for Mr. Bones, an action game with events for all ages. Finally, the page includes a call for reader postcards with Sega Saturn-related content and a giveaway of Sakura Wars trading cards. This page is the Sega Saturn Soft Databank, a comprehensive list of games available for the console at the time. It's essentially a directory showcasing titles released from November 1994 through to September 1995. The page is dominated by a table, neatly organized with columns detailing each game's release date, title, manufacturer, price, genre, reader score, magazine score, and compatibility notes. We can see a wide range of genres are represented, from action and adventure to RPGs, strategy, and even puzzle games. Looking at the game titles, we can spot some familiar names like Virtua Fighter, Myst, Daytona USA, and Street Fighter. The listing is broken down by release month, starting with the initial November 1994 launch titles. The scores give an idea of how readers and the magazine reviewers rated each game at the time. It seems like a useful resource for Saturn owners to see what's out there and how games are being received. This page continues the Sega Saturn Soft Databank, listing even more games with their release dates, manufacturers, prices, genres, and scores. It's still heavily focused on presenting game information in a tabular format, continuing the comprehensive listing style of the previous page. You can see a wide variety of games are still being released, from familiar titles to more obscure ones, covering genres like action, RPG, puzzle, and strategy. The page is essentially more of the same detailed game catalog, offering a snapshot of the Sega Saturn's expanding game library during this period. This page continues the Sega Saturn Soft Databank, presenting a massive list of games organized in tables. You'll find a wide variety of titles here, spanning genres like action, RPG, shooting, puzzle, and strategy. It's a dense catalog showing the sheer volume of games available for the Saturn at this time, listing each game's manufacturer, price, genre, and review scores. There are many recognizable genres here, including sports, fighting, and simulation titles alongside RPGs and action games, indicating a broad range of software being released. The page format is very much focused on presenting data in a structured way, offering a comprehensive overview for readers interested in the latest and upcoming SEGA Saturn games. This page continues the SEGA Saturn Soft Data Bank, and it's more of the same, really just loads and loads of game data crammed into tables. We are still seeing a massive list of titles, with details like release dates, game titles, developers, prices, genres, and review scores. Looking through it, there's a real mix of genres still being listed, from action and RPGs to puzzle and strategy games. It's a real testament to how many games were coming out for the Saturn back then. It's still mostly tables of information, so it's really for someone wanting a very detailed overview of the games available and their scores. There isn't really anything to dive into here other than a huge list of game titles and data. It's really just a continuation of the massive software library for the SEGA Saturn. This page continues the data bank index and is packed with even more game titles for the SEGA Saturn. It's essentially a massive list organized in a table, going through a huge number of games alphabetically in Japanese order. You can see the titles listed along with their software numbers. It's really a comprehensive index of the Saturn's library. Looking through, you can spot a ton of familiar games, but again, it's really just a dense list. If you needed to quickly look up a game and its number in this index, this page would be perfect. But it's purely data and not really for casual reading. It's just further evidence of the sheer volume of games released for the Saturn. This page continues the extensive game index, diving deeper into the SEGA Saturn's software library. It's still very much a data-heavy listing, presenting games in Japanese alphabetical order along with their software numbers. You'll see a vast collection of titles here, really showcasing the breadth of games available for the Saturn. There are loads of familiar titles buried in the list, like Daytona USA Circuit Edition, Decathlete, Digital Pinball Necronomicon, and Destruction Derby. It's less about detailed reviews and more about cataloging the massive library, acting like a comprehensive reference list for anyone wanting to know what games existed for the system and their associated numbers. It's pure data and not really for casual reading, but if you're a serious Saturn collector or just curious about the sheer volume of games, this kind of index is invaluable. This page seems to be showing readers how to fill out a questionnaire postcard. There are instructions on how to write your details and answer the questions correctly, with examples of good and bad ways to fill in the answer boxes. It looks like a survey to gather reader opinions. Below the instructions, you have the actual questionnaire broken down into sections like gender, age, occupation, and questions about SEGA Saturn software ownership. They're asking what game magazines readers are into and their thoughts on the current magazine cover. There are also questions about desired game ports and what articles from this issue were interesting. It's asking for feedback on past interesting articles as well. Then there are 3 tables listed. Table 1 is a list of articles featured in this issue covering various games like Landmark, Slayer Trees, Royal 2, Sonic Jam, and new releases. Table 2 lists SEGA Saturn hardware and peripherals, including things like the VCD card, various controllers, and even the floppy disk drive. Finally, Table 3 is another massive software list, continuing from the previous pages, with a huge number of game titles like Formula 1 Tactics, Dungeons & Dragons Collection, Doom, Daytona USA 2, and even titles like Lunar Eternal Blue and Waku Waku 7. It's a really extensive list covering a broad range of Saturn games. This page is special part 2 of a cheat codes feature, carrying on from the last issue, and is called Cheat Techniques A Go. It looks like the magazine is still going strong with their special plans, even after Golden Week has finished. The text sounds like it's chatting to the readers, saying something like, "Hey everyone, what did you do over Golden Week? I was stuck working every day, just typing away at my computer, and not even going outside to play games." They joke about being boring for talking about work, but then get straight into the main point, saying this is a cheat code special feature, and that readers should really dive into Saturn games on this page. The illustration is a wild and crazy drawing, crammed with game stuff, really showing the cheat theme with explosions and all sorts of characters. It mentions being a definitive preservation project that covers all cheat codes for the Saturn. The artwork is by Jerry. This page continues the cheat code special, diving into more secrets for Saturn games. The top section is all about Jikyu Oshibari Parodius Forever With Me, detailing various cheat codes. One code lets you play with the same character in 2P mode, another unlocks hidden characters, and there are stage select, round select, free play, and invincibility codes. Level 8 difficulty can be unlocked, and there are even codes to increase credits, lives, and make your ship invincible for one play. One code even makes your ship self-destruct. There's a vocal version of the BGM unlock, and a full power-up code that affects speed and shot type. Moving on, Shippu Mahou Daisakusen Kingdom Grand Prix has a shooting mode selection cheat and a trick to always be in first place in two-player mode. Then there's SimCity 2000 with a helicopter-related cheat. Next up is Jissen Pashaslot Hishuhao 3, focusing on pachinko/slot machine tips and tricks, including store selection and flag setting for big wins and guaranteed continuous play. Finally, Shining Wisdom secrets are revealed, hidden stairs become visible, and a trick for moving faster than normal, and how to use Spark Orb for the strongest magic. This document unveils cheat codes for several SEGA Saturn games. Johnny Bazooka offers life and stage skip codes. Shining the Holy Ark allows camera adjustments, item manipulation, and a chicken item. Shanghai Great Wall enables arcade mode continues. Tokyo Highway Battle 97 unlocks the Type VW car and color changes. After School, Girls Ribbons reveals the hidden character Nakamura Seijiro. God Arms unlocks characters like Behemoth, Iris, and Lucifer. New Kururin Pa provides a sudden ending cheat and unlocks boss characters. Neon Genesis Evangelion features a karaoke mode, a Hayashibara Megumi mode with scenery changes, and stage skip functionality, along with screen zoom controls and a flowchart for accessing Unit 02 boarding mode. This page provides cheat codes and gameplay tips for Neon Genesis Evangelion Second Impression. It details branching paths in Chart 3, Angel battle strategies, including cable cut and rampage events, and various unlockable bonus modes like Omake mode. Omake mode unlocks, based on achievement level, offering items such as graffiti art, a sound library, and a polygon viewer. A karaoke mode can be directly accessed via a cheat code. Berserk mode conditions for Unit 01 are explained, leading to a game over. Other events, like the umbilical cable cut and expert mode cheats, are listed. The text provides skip features for movies and a bonus voice control using L and number inputs. Finally, it notes the ability to switch characters in Unit 01 and unlock a special Hayashibara Megumi version with unique Easter eggs and stage selection cheats. This document details secret techniques and hidden features for several games. In an unnamed game, players can start with 99 lives and continues using a title screen button sequence and view demos consecutively. In Heart-Redding Killing Punch Teramaru, a color-swapped Teramaru is available. A ranking mode unlocks after clearing the game, and throws, taunts, and weapon throws use specific button combinations. Water Margin Heroic Biography features character color changes during selection, and skin color variations using directional inputs. Losing quickly leads to a different opening animation. Playing on higher difficulties without continuing unlocks a hidden character. The game also includes character-specific super moves, activated by specific conditions and button combinations. Finally, Mysterious World El Hazard offers a tarot card usage tip, while Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner rewards viewing demons with an item and clearing all endings with unlockable modes in the main menu. Boss characters are viewable in view mode for the latter game. This guide reveals hidden features in several games. In Super Puzzle Fighter 2X, players can unlock bonus characters like Donovan and Anita, and access Gookie, Akuma, Dan, and Devilat through specific controller inputs during character selection. Debug and mirror match options also exist. Super Real Mahjong PV/PVI features hidden graphics unlocked by beating certain difficulty levels, a visual test, and in PV, opponent selection during demos. PVI offers a trick to view all visuals without completing the game. Steeldom allows for color variations through button holds during character select. Super Casino Special offers a cheat to begin with significant funds by naming your character Angel. Finally, PV character demos are viewable via fighting game-style command inputs. This guide reveals hidden features for several games. In Super Puzzle Fighter 2X, select 2 P character colors with Start, Mid-Boss colors, by clearing 1 P mode with all characters, and holding L plus R plus Start. Infinite continues are available with L plus R plus Start at the Continue screen. Playing 1P game over 39 times unlocks a camera option. Clearing Mania unlocks special graphics. In 2P game, use X, Y, or Z for random stage select. Low aerial special moves are performed with quick input. Gen is playable after clearing 1P and selecting 2P. For Stake Winner 2, cheats provide 100 million yen at the start, 12 high-ability horses, and 157 million yen. Passwords unlock high-ability stallions and display hidden stallions. Finally, in Street Fighter Zero, unlock Vega, M. Bison, by highlighting and using specific L-held button combinations with X plus Y or A plus B for 1P and 2P colors, respectively. This guide unveils numerous secrets and gameplay enhancements for Street Fighter Alpha 2. It details how to unlock and play as Dan, including specific button combinations and character selection methods. Hidden characters like Vega, Gookie, and Dan can be unlocked by fulfilling specific arcade mode conditions. The guide explains how to access special versions of characters such as Shin Akuma and Evil Ryu, involving specific character selection screen maneuvers. Additional features include a hidden course in survival mode, rapid fire mode, and an infinite combo mode in training. The text also reveals ways to make CPU Dan appear in matches, and the conditions for Gookie's appearance as an opponent. It also explains how to access the dramatic battle mode, choose victory poses and messages, and select specific stages. Furthermore, the guide includes a move list for Dan. This document reveals hidden features for various SEGA Saturn games. In Street Fighter Alpha 2, unlock Sakura's extra colors with specific button combinations, and make Akuma playable with a rapid button sequence. SEGA International Victory Goal allows for character color changes and Hikaru Yoshihide's voice via button holds, along with replay mode viewpoint adjustments. SEGA Ages Outrun unlocks extra options by pressing ASAR 3 times, including new items and music. Generally, SEGA Ages games offer an arcade mode and credit editions with specific button combinations. Twin Bee Rainbow Bell Adventure unlocks a secret wallpaper with a button sequence. Space Invaders features a cat appearance in 2 prop matches with simultaneous button presses. Pretty Fighter X makes Maria playable in story mode via a start button combination. Snatcher replaces the aiming reticle with Twin Bee in the shooting room with a button hold. This page details hidden features in several SEGA Ages and SEGA Rally Championship games. SEGA Ages Memorial Selection Volume 1 includes a secret menu accessible during specific in-game clock times, allowing players to adjust game settings like mode, level, lives, and credits. SEGA Ages Fantasy Zone has an arcade mode and various unlockable options, including song title corrections, text alignment, and adjustments to difficulty like continues, shot prices, and shot power. These are unlocked through button combinations and in-game actions. SEGA Rally Championships secrets involve a developer's ghost car in Time Attack, unlocked courses by pressing X and Y at the mode select screen, Lakeside, and a Stratos car unlockable by a button combination on the mode select screen. It also includes an expert mode that boosts acceleration and the ability to reverse courses and adjust replay camera views. Finally, there are hidden messages in SEGA Ages games triggered by specific button combinations during refueling, further detailed within a provided table on the page. This document details secret features and cheats for various games. SEGA Rally Championship Plus has numerous tricks, including racing developer ghosts, changing car models, removing display elements, zooming the screen, unlocking stages and characters, and a random stage select. Sexy Parodius features full power-up and power-down commands. Senko Rensen Tai allows you to adjust hit detection and ship speed. Graduation 2 Neo Generation has an Omake unlock condition. Sword and Sorcery unlocks a mini-drama. Gosun Oyoyo features a transformation mode and a mode reset function. Finally, SEGA Ages games offer unlockable options like difficulty, lives, and credits based on score and playtime. This page reveals hidden techniques and cheats for various games. In Sonic Wings Special, players can unlock hidden characters, activate special moves with specific button combinations, and use radio sword attacks. There are also commands for changing wing types, locking shot direction, and accessing visual and karaoke modes. Dark Savior offers tricks like changing viewpoints during Traco rides, accessing a minigame, manipulating points for score boosts, and triggering an electric shock feature. Players can also move enemies in parallel IV and manipulate sounds in the sound test. Daidaris has floor clear and item recovery commands using 2P controls. Titan Wars has an invincibility cheat. Uncharted Waters,
New Horizons allows gold duplication by selling equipped items. Finally, Taiku Rishiden 2 lets you play as different characters, and Undukai allows players to access training menus early. Several classic arcade games feature hidden content unlocked through specific button sequences and character names. Sonic Wings Special offers movie modes, staff shooting, special stages, and battle options, alongside stage selection codes that may affect the ending. Detective Saburo Jinguji Unfinished Report unlocks a flying machine in car chases and the Bar Kasumi event. Die Hard Arcade allows increasing enemy battleships. Tactics Ogre unlocks a music mode with the character name music_on, and Denep's content with Denepu Report. Darius Gaiden and Darius 2 offer difficulty adjustments, rapid fire, and credit boosts. Finally, Cho Aniki Ultimate Men's Counterattack enhances visuals during gameplay. This page details hidden features and gameplay tips for Daytona USA on the Sega Saturn. It covers a range of secrets and techniques to enhance the game. There are instructions for accessing a debug mode, karaoke mode, and a mode to display speed in miles. You can also select your background music, BGM, ensure you see the game ending, and increase the number of selectable cars. It even explains how to unlock and play as Daytona Uma and Daytona Uma 2, special hidden car types. The page also mentions a mania mode for a more challenging experience. Gameplay tips include how to perform a rocket start, stop the million slots roulette, and how to make the Jeffrey statue reverse or rotate. There are instructions for viewing a no-tire advertisement demo and the staff roll. For gameplay techniques, it describes how to view replays from an overhead perspective and provides a basic guide on drifting. Mirror mode and time attack with a single car are also explained. Furthermore, it mentions a hidden signboard in the intermediate course and details a gear-based drift technique, highlighting that yellow cars are best suited for this. Finally, it hints at a hidden BGM during name entry. This guide reveals secrets for Daytona USA Circuit Edition. To unlock special cars, in Saturn mode, win all courses on Hard, UMA, or Normal, UMA 2, difficulty, and select them on the car select screen. Mirror mode is activated by holding X, Y, and Z during course selection in Arcade or Time Attack. In Time Attack, race against a ghost car by holding X, Y, and Z while confirming lap count with Circa. Other tips include stopping the slot machine on beginner courses with X, spinning the Jeffrey statue with rapid X button presses when reversing, and removing ghost cars in versus mode by holding L and X during course selection. Change the time season with button combinations after Gentlemen Start Your Engines. A hovercraft car can be accessed by holding left, up, and R after the same prompt. Finally, for theme park, bankrupt your park and rapidly press C during land naming for a free no-name land, or operate from the opening demo screen by holding A, X, and Y during mode select. This guide uncovers cheat codes and secrets for several Sega Saturn games. For Decathlete, players can unlock a character, alter running styles, manipulate events, and access a debug mode. Daytona Twinbee Yahoo! Deluxe Pack features power-up commands and unlockable stage select options, with different requirements for Daytona, Twinbee, and Twinbee Yahoo! Digital Pinball. Last Gladiators also has a debug mode. Discrimson allows scene skipping, and Destruction Derby provides codes for invincibility and hidden courses. The guide additionally details general title screen secrets, including access to staff roles, monitor tests, developer messages, sound tests, and even making of footage under specific conditions. This page is all about the hottest new and upcoming Sega Saturn games. It highlights the latest releases that have just hit the shelves, mentioning titles like the fast-paced action game Bulk Slash, the giant robot battles of MechWarrior 2, and sports games such as NHL 97 and Karnov's Revenge, known as Fighter's History Dynamite over in Japan. There's a real mix with some Japan-only titles too, like a visual novel adventure featuring Megumi Okina, a pachinko game, the RPG Startling Odyssey, an adventure game called Seven Secret Mansions, a horse racing game, and even an action-adventure title. Turning our attention to the Coming Soon section, we get a glimpse at what Saturn gamers can look forward to. Big names here are Macross,
Do You Remember Love? And the strategy RPG Langrisser IV. Alongside these, there's the Samurai Showdown RPG, a quiz game called Quiz Nanero Dreams, the racing game Zero Yan Champ, a J.League soccer game, and some more unique and interesting sounding Japanese games like Digital Angel, Cyber Angel SS, Breakpoint, Game Paradise, Crazy Ion, and Étoile Rouge. It's a great snapshot of the diverse range of games coming to the Sega Saturn.
This page is all about two very different games. Firstly, we have Summer Love Fantasy in Miyazaki Seagaya, a dating sim where you get to go on dates with the popular idol Megumi Okina. It sounds like a real treat for fans, letting you experience virtual dates with her over 4 exciting days in Miyazaki Seagaya. They're promising a special experience with moving images and her actual voice, unlike typical anime-style dating sims, and even mention seeing her in everyday clothes, not just in grab-your photos. Moving on to the bottom half of the page, it's all action with Bulk Slash, a 3D shooting game. This one is about piloting a transforming mech in city and air battles. Apparently, you get a navigator girl who helps you out in each stage, and you can even develop your relationship with these girls, which changes the ending. They've shown screenshots of the robot in both humanoid and flight forms, and mentioned Stage 1 boss being a giant walking tank. It sounds like a fast-paced and exciting 3D shooter, where the relationship with your navigator adds an extra layer. This page shines a spotlight on Fighters History Dynamite, a proper 2D fighting game that's coming to the Saturn. It boasts a roster of 13 characters in total. The page emphasizes that there are new characters to discover, and even the boss characters are playable. The page talks about a unique weak point system in battles, where each character has a weak spot, like their head or feet. If you hit this spot 3 times, your opponent gets stunned, adding a strategic element to the fights. It seems like a fresh take on the genre. Character introductions are given with screenshots, highlighting fighters like Mizoguchi, who's described as a karate master, Ryoko, who uses judo throws, Lee, who is into kung fu, and Samchai, a Muay Thai champion. There's also mention of Zazie, an environmentalist fighter, and Karnov, who's described as a mysterious fighter with odd attacks. The reviewer sounds excited about the diverse cast and the over-the-top action, emphasizing the Deco brand of intensity in this fighter. They mention it's a port of the Neo Geo version. This page is all about adventure games. Up top we have Super Pachinko Adventure Doki Doki Nightmare, which is described as a romance adventure aimed at adults. It seems to be a new entry in the popular Tsuchipi series, and this time it's focusing on love and relationships with the beautiful girl characters. They are showing off 2 new characters, called Rim, described as energetic and expressive, and Ninomiya Kotori, who is a composed high school girl. It mentions you can enjoy real romance with these Tsuchipi types, and that cheating tactics from Mahjong won't work here. It's only 15% complete, though, so still early days. Then, at the bottom of the page, we have 7 Mansions Secret, War-Torn Smile, from Koei. This one's a horror adventure game, set in a southern island mansion. They say it's an evolution of adventure games, promising improved visuals and music to enhance the horror experience. It's set to be released in winter. There's also mention of a pair-com system for cooperative play, where 2 players, a guy and a girl, can play together and deepen their bond in the game. They even show a creepy skeleton image and say it's 50% complete. Both games are looking to push the boundaries of adventure gaming in different directions, one in romance and the other in horror, both with a focus on story and characters. This page kicks off with Startling Odyssey 1, Blue Evolution, a RPG that's making its way to the Saturn after being popular on PC Engine. They're really hyping it up as a massive renewal, saying they've completely redone the scenario and system, even the battles, so it'll be a fresh experience for those who played the original. It sounds like they've taken the time to rework everything from the ground up, even the story, to make it a true adventure. They're showing off character art for Leon Solfield, the main hero, Sophia Darfarina, a sorceress and companion, and Randy Gardner, a leader of a group of thieves who seems to be an ally. The story is set 270 years after a dark god invasion, and it's your classic hero's journey. Leon's village is attacked, his mother kidnapped, and he sets out to rescue her. Moving down, we have Idol Disc Special Edition Campaign Girl 97. This is quite different. It's a promotional disc from Sada Soft, focusing on campaign girls.
Essentially, it's a digital photo collection showcasing 18 beautiful women in swimsuits, captured in various styles and angles, all in full color. They say it's like a photo album you can't get anywhere else. There's also a minigame included, a 3-choice quiz about these campaign girls, testing your knowledge of their history and profiles. They even give an example question about blood types of campaign girls. It seems like a fun little extra for fans of these personalities. The SEGA Saturn is receiving 4 new titles. MechWarrior 2, nearing completion at 95%, offers 3D robot battles based on the PC hit, promising strategic gameplay from top American staff. Derby Analyst, fully complete, is a horse racing prediction game with realistic accuracy and high payout potential, catering to both casual and serious bettors. NHL 97, at 80% complete, brings realistic ice hockey action, including power plays, fights, and real NHL players, aiming for an immersive experience. Finally, Buken Katsugeki Mono Mono, only 20% complete, is an RPG set in a Sengoku-era Japan-inspired world where a young boy explores dungeons, battles, monsters, and utilizes a unique mono-mono style of fighting. This page delves into the world of Macross, specifically the game Macross. Do You Remember Love? It highlights the themes of love and war that are central to the story, emphasizing that the game is based on the original anime series, but with new elements. The page features character relationship charts that categorize key figures, like Lin Minmei as a civilian, Hikaru Ichijo and Roy Fokker as part of Skull Squadron, and Milia Falina within the Zentradi army. These charts visually represent the connections and feelings between characters, like Minmei being admired, Hikaru being of interest, and the shifting relationship between Maximilian and Milia. Character profiles provide concise details, such as Lin Minmei being an idol, and Hikaru Ichijo being a pilot, and Misa Hayase being a mature woman and officer. It also introduces supporting characters like Claudia LaSalle, Roy Fokker, and Zentradi figures like Golbodolza and Exodor, briefly outlining their roles and significance within the Macross universe. Finally, the page discusses the core conflict, contrasting Earthlings who are fighting to protect their culture against the Zentradi, who only know war. It references the movie Macross Do You Remember Love as a deeply moving cinematic experience, and notes that while a new version is being incorporated into the game, the fundamental story and character motivations remain unchanged. Story Digest summarizes the Macross Do You Remember Love? Game. It begins with the backstory of Earth's recovered alien technology and the attack on the Macross by alien forces, players, as Hikaru Ichijo battle in their Valkyries. A failed spacefold leads to Pluto, stranding civilians, including Minmei. They encounter the Zentradi, the enemy. The game story unfolds in phases: battles, interior scenes, and gameplay instructions. An asteroid belt phase features space combat and character dialogue. The page also highlights the battle against the Zentradi and Meltrandi, described as a warrior race. Commander Bratai is surprised by the coexistence of men and women on the Macross. Commander Bodolza orders the capture of the Macross, leading to intense battles involving Valkyries and the Macross's own defenses. The page features screenshots of combat. The dialogue and images in the game are adapted from the movie. This page details gameplay aspects of the Macross Do You Remember Love? Game. It talks about the Armored Valkyrie, explaining that Valkyries are transformable mecha but have low defense. To compensate in Batroid mode, they use detachable armor, creating the Armored Valkyrie. All 5 stages in the game use this form. The page then describes a scenario called Assault Enemy Battleship, which is Phase 05 of the game and part of the original story. It mentions an armed attack and a Macross transforming into a powerful assault type. The Macross breaks through enemy defenses, and Batroid armored Valkyrie units are deployed. It describes the enemy battleship as having a bizarre plant-like appearance. Valkyries launch a concentrated attack, destroying the battleship. The Support/Destroid section explains Destroids. These are non-transforming mecha, developed as cost-effective alternatives to Valkyries. While not featured in the movie to a large extent, they play a support role in the game. In Stage 3, they defend within the Macross, and in Stage 5, they launch for an all-out attack, showcasing their firepower like missile barrages. Finally, the boss section seems to highlight boss battles.
It mentions the objective is to hit the center of the enemy and encourages players to fight with spirit. It hints at a final battle against a flower-like enemy battleship, and suggests that the war is not over yet, but rather is just beginning to reach its peak. The page emphasizes the intense battles and gameplay experience.
This page is announcing coming soon software from SEGA Saturn Press. It highlights the game Bushido Blade, stating it's 90% complete and scheduled for release on June 27th as an RPG priced at 6,800 yen, suitable for all ages. The reviewer mentions it's almost finished and will feature a dramatic story. The page introduces a character called Shibalba from Green Hell, describing him as a powerful ancient demon originally sealed away. He was freed by the evil priest Miroku, and now he is active again. Mizuki, a priestess guarding Green Hell, which is described as a paradise, is now facing chaos as the land is corrupted by demonic influence. Bushido Blade's gameplay is touted for its expansive fields, allowing for exploration beyond just walking, including using boats. The setting of Green Hell is detailed as a peaceful land now being corrupted by evil, causing disturbances. The game promises new characters and emphasizes the true samurai spirits of Bushido Blade, focusing on the conflict between Amakusa Shiro Tokisada and the priestess Mizuki, who are trying to save the world from evil. It mentions the player will encounter various demons and key characters. Finally, it mentions that winning battles in Bushido Blade will reward you with cool poses, showcasing some in-game screenshots of characters in fighting stances with speech bubbles. This SEGA Saturn Press article previews Bushido Blade, focusing on two key characters: Holly, San Francisco, and Kaku, Japan. Holly, a mysterious magician with onmyoji-like abilities, could be a powerful ally. The San Francisco situation hints at a Gold Rush-era setting plagued by evil spirits. Kaku, leader of the Oni training temple in Kyoto, seeks to amplify his magical power, potentially by acquiring stronger demons. The Oni Temple, a split from the Flower Training Temple, employs a different approach to protect the world. Kaku's ambition sets him apart. The article also previews special moves like Wind Dream Flurry and Lightning Wave, suggesting a game with a complex world, exploring both Western and Eastern themes. This page is all about Langrisser IV and the latest developments in its production. It's currently at 55% completion and slated for a July release by Messiah. They're highlighting Scenario 5 and the new save system, which now allows for 3 save slots per scenario, plus extra saves before and during gameplay. They've also nailed down the character creation system, showcasing Rachel, who's found a fortune-telling book. This character creation seems to be a core element, with dialogue choices affecting your character. They're also detailing the class change system, which occurs when a commander reaches level 10, offering 2 class choices, and you can see details of unit types and magic before committing. Finally, they emphasize the triangle system in battles, highlighting the importance of unit type relationships, infantry, lancer, and cavalry for strategic advantage. The page suggests battles will be very tactical, and positioning your commander and units correctly is critical for victory. Screenshots show in-game menus, character portraits, and battle scenes. Langrisser IV Scenarios 1-5 begin with Landius and Ricky rebelling against Gizlof, a tyrannical lord demanding double taxes. Scenario 1 sees a successful night raid, but Gizlof targets Rachel, the village chief's daughter. Scenario 2 focuses on rescuing Rachel, encountering Shelfaniel and Angelina, and later being captured. Scenario 3 involves Selena investigating, discovering a ruse and Shelfaniel's involvement. Scenario 4 involves a magic research facility and Rachel's continued captivity. Scenario 5 details a risky infiltration of Gizlof's fortress, with the battle for Kakonsis' victory at stake. Gizlof aims to control the kingdom, using Lord Rivas and Princess Creoline, and the allied forces pose a significant threat to Landius' rescue efforts. This page is focused on the upcoming SEGA Saturn game, Nijiro Machi no Sumaibito Ayairo Dreams, which is described as a quiz and dreams title. It seems to be an adventure quiz game, and this pin-app feature is already the 3rd installment. The game is stated to be 90% complete. The maker's comments section mentions that the release date is May 30th, and it's described as a love adventure quiz game, and also highlights the appeal of the cute girls in the game and confirms there will be CG images of them, reassuring readers not to worry about that aspect. The review section features comments from Kobari Mayumi, who describes the game genre as love adventure quiz, and initially expected it to be very sweet and romantic. However, she notes that the game also includes unexpected elements, like monsters and robots. She expresses curiosity about the story and invites players to experience it themselves, hinting at surprising content with phrases like, "Nande yanen?" Why? She seems slightly apprehensive about how players will react to the unexpected elements. The screenshots showcase the game's anime art style and some of the diverse scenes you can expect, including characters interacting with school supplies, food, and even a goldfish in a bag. This page is all about the character Charlotte from the game Nijiro Machi no Sumaibito Ayairo Dreams, which we've been covering in the magazine. They are really highlighting the girls in this Quiz and Dreams game, and asking readers what they think of the home console version compared to the arcade. It seems they believe the Saturn port is perfect. The game itself is a complete arcade port, with additions like a roulette-off mode and brand new quiz categories. Mentioned future issues will delve deeper into these new features. There are comments from someone who seems to be involved in making the game, saying that while Charlotte wasn't super popular in the arcade version, the home version is different, and players should check her out. Another comment mentions how cute Charlotte's voice is, and how fun Gigi's sermons are. They're clearly enjoying the character and her dialogue, saying they feel more like Saruso than a scientist being stimulated by the game. Visually, the page features multiple images of Charlotte in circular frames with a vibrant, colorful background. This page introduces the racing game 04 Champ Doozy J Typer, which is described as a blend of racing and adventure, and the fifth installment in the popular Zero Yan series, focusing on straight-line 400 meters races. Interestingly, this time they've added love simulation elements with 8 mechanic heroines, and your relationship with them might even influence car tuning. The page highlights that this is the love racing game version and features real Japanese cars, showcasing 6 iconic models: the Skyline GTR, 180SX, RX-7, Fairlady Z, Lancer Evolution IV, and NSX, each with a brief spec list. There's a little blurb that seems to be from someone involved in the game, mentioning a minigame called Arm Champ, and joking about how intense it is. They also touch on how the game is challenging and requires skill, while referencing a catchphrase related to Zero Yan. The game is marked as 100% complete and ready to go, promising a new kind of fun with this latest installment. We also get a peek at some in-game screenshots, showing racing action and calendar/schedule screens, suggesting there's a deeper management aspect to the game. This page is like a story digest for the game 04 Champ Doozy J Typer, focusing on the narrative and adventure aspects. It kicks off with a prologue about the main character, who used to be a street racer, encountering a female biker who changes his life. The story then moves to America, specifically San Francisco, where the protagonist aims to become the best racer, but immediately faces trouble when his bike breaks down. This leads him to meet beautiful female mechanics who become potential partners. The page teases different locations and scenarios. We see there's a rival named Sturm, and another called Zauber. In Los Angeles, there's a new rival in the D-rank races, and in Las Vegas, you encounter a beautiful female driver at a casino. Interestingly, it seems the game shifts gears a bit, hinting at a treasure hunt in the Grand Canyon. The overall vibe is that of a racing game with a strong story focus, romance elements with the female mechanics, and diverse locations across America providing different gameplay scenarios. This page is all about J.League Go Go Goal, a soccer game from Tecmo. They're calling it their first soccer game, optimized for the Marucon controller. The page highlights that the game is complete at 100% and ready to go. Tecmo emphasizes their move from 2D to 3D graphics for this title, aiming for a new level of realism and controls. The article dives into the basics of gameplay, covering both offense and defense. When you have the ball, the A, B, and C buttons are your go-to for shooting, passing, and lob passes respectively. If you're on defense, these buttons become sliding and shoulder charging. Dashing is mapped to the AO button, and the R button is for player switching. It mentions using the X, Y, and Z buttons to switch tactics mid-game, giving players a strategic edge by adapting to different situations. The game is particularly emphasizing the importance of mastering the dash ability for player control. The page details offensive moves like shooting and passing, highlighting different pass types for outsmarting opponents and creating scoring opportunities. For defense, it explains sliding and catching, especially focusing on goalkeeper controls, which can be set to auto or manual, recommending auto for beginners. It also praises the smooth controls thanks to the Marucon compatibility, making the game feel great to play.
This page continues to explore J.League Go Go Goal, and it looks like they're diving into more gameplay details. There are two main game modes, Exhibition and J.League. Exhibition is recommended for beginners to get to grips with the controls and formations. Basically your practice mode. The J.League mode is where you aim to become champion over 2 stages, with rankings based on points and goal difference. It sounds like you can even play cooperatively in the J.League mode, which is cool. Exhibition mode is perfect for playing with mates, offering various setups like co-op, 1vs1, 2vs2, and even letting the CPU battle it out. They're also highlighting the ability to create your own original team formations. Apparently, you can really customize your strategy, so even if you pick the same team as someone else, your tactics can make them play completely differently. You can also give detailed player commands, emphasizing precise control and strategic team play. Another section shows off 4 different camera modes: vertical, horizontal, TV camera, and player's eye. Each gives a different perspective, from a wide view to a closer, player-focused view, letting you choose what suits your playstyle best. Finally, they mention the replay feature, which lets you relive goal moments and other highlights. It sounds like you can review your matches and capture those awesome plays, which is always a great feature to have in a sports game. Digital Ange Dengeki Tenshi SS is a dramatic adventure game set in the lead-up to 1999, drawing inspiration from Nostradamus and the Book of Revelation. Players, as humans, will interact with angels and fallen angels in a quest to potentially save the world. The game boasts over 200 scenes and multiple scenarios, already listed as 100% complete. The story explores themes of love versus power, with character interactions shaped by a questionnaire determining the player's attributes. These attributes, categorized into Bestia, ordinary person, not Bestia, and element, influence how the angels respond and ultimately determine the ending. Players will face choices regarding humanity's fate during the predicted Last Judgment. The game features angel characters like Belle, a bright and cheerful angel, and her shy twin sister, Camellia. This page offers a sneak peek into the early stages of Digital Ange Dengeki Tenshi SS. It dives a bit deeper into the story, revealing that Miri unexpectedly uses her powers, causing another character, Fall, to awaken and go on a rampage. Angels and fallen angels get involved to try and stop this. We get character introductions, including Fall, who is Belle's twin sister, described as quiet and gentle, but with strong psychic abilities. Then there's Mel, who is an older sister figure to Miri, and head of the fallen angels, described as somewhat airheaded and laid back, age 21. Finally, Miri, the 98th generation fallen angel and Bestia leader, is described as boyish and strong-willed, aged 14. There are also 2 Q&A sections that clarify some game concepts. One explains that both angels and fallen angels are originally the same, referred to as wriggled gods, but their missions differ. Angels are about final judgment, potentially destroying humanity if they're corrupted, while fallen angels guide the player through the game. The other Q&A is about divine machines and beast machines, revealing they are tools given to angels to carry out their missions. They can combine with pilots, and even have their own will, and act independently to some extent. The page is packed with screenshots showing various scenes and character interactions from the game to give you a visual taste of what to expect. This page introduces Breakpoint, a full polygon tennis game that emphasizes dynamically changing viewpoints. The game is designed to be easy to control and enjoyable in multiplayer. It boasts 3 gameplay viewpoints and 5 replay viewpoints to showcase the action. Replays can be paused and frame advanced for closer analysis. The page highlights 5 different camera angles: first person, sideline, blimp, which is an overhead view, TV view, and aerial, a high-angle view, showing screenshots of each perspective. Game stats are shown, such as aces, serve percentage, double faults, fastest serve, and points won. The game offers a Super Cup mode, featuring 4 tournaments: LTS Tour, Milovic Tour, Quartex Tour, and Estelle Tour. There are 8 selectable players, and the page details 4 balance-type players: Eric Svensson, who specializes in drop shots and net play; Kate Yang, an all-rounder; Brandon Knight, a strong server but with slower footwork; and Natalie Fisher, a baseline player with powerful strokes. The reviewer emphasizes that this game is designed to be tactile and feel good to play. especially for tennis fans who will appreciate the realistic shot making. Breakpoint features realistic tennis gameplay with semi-automatic shot selection, diving volleys, and victory poses. Players can skip ball boy animations for a faster pace. Strategic gameplay includes using the whole court to tire opponents and applying pressure at the net, especially against fast players. Doubles emphasizes aggressive net play and topspin shots. Character archetypes are speed, e.g., Keiko Takahashi, Paul Williams with spin variations, and power, e.g., Jackie Chevalier, Corella Manelli with the fastest serve. The game offers diverse court surfaces: omni, indoor, beach, grass, shorter bounces, faster play, hard, and clay, truer, slower bounces, impacting ball behavior and play style. Options for indoor and outdoor courts, with or without spectators, are included. Game Paradise is a Jaleco game with a slight delay but a confirmed June release. The game features a data mode, showcasing original Jaleco games like Formation Z and Field Combat. The game is complete, with regular and limited editions. Jaleco apologized for the delay, but improved Momoko's bomber graphics. The page highlights player ships, each with standard, charge, and bomber attacks, plus option attacks from power-ups. 3 ships are introduced: Genesis Chapter 3 with evolving option attacks, Speedy Pupila with rapid fire, and Powerful Fighter X piloted by Gina. Detailed attack descriptions and screenshots are provided for each ship. Game Paradise embraces a 70s retro aesthetic, focusing on the final stage, Retro World. The graphics evolve from wireframe to textured visuals, culminating in a boss fight against Genius Yamada, who can change size. 2 new playable characters are introduced: Pig, a bomb expert with attacks like Bomb Barrage Throw and the powerful Bomb of Drooling Mark, and Momoko, with her Homing Star attack and the devastating Super Ultimate Hyper Bomb. The page also outlines common attack types, including Auto-Lock Laser, Homing Blaster, and the Set Graviton Bomb type, which creates expanding green explosions. Mizdyne MK2 is also mentioned, possibly relating to the game's hardware. Crazy Ivan, a 3D robot shooter for SEGA Saturn, is set to release June 27th for 5,800 yen. The game tasks players with saving Earth from an alien invasion by destroying shield generators and enemy forces. You control a powerful robot, humanity's last hope, and must utilize weapons like guns, missiles, and special attacks to defeat bosses called Sentinels. Gameplay involves collecting energy cores to upgrade weapons and the mech. The HUD displays score, communication, lives, a time limit triggering a powerful enemy, radar, ammo, enemy HP, armor status, and a navigation map. The reviewer humorously notes the unexpected seriousness of the game, contrasting it with the seemingly lighthearted title, Crazy Ivan, and expresses optimism for the game. This page introduces Eberouge, a coming-soon soft adventure game for SEGA Saturn. It's part of the Whirland series and is described as a nurturing simulation game. The game boasts 100% completion and is set for release on May 30th, priced at 6,800 yen. The page details school life, explaining that the player character grows through school life and their future depends on the player's scheduled choices. It mentions players set weekly schedules from Monday to Saturday from a list of 10 options, which in turn affects the protagonist's stats and triggers events. The schedule interface allows for item checks, data saving, and loading. Yearly events are highlighted as diverse and important for improving stats, including study events like magic tests and skill-based events like martial arts tournaments. Private events focused on deepening relationships with girls are also showcased. Player choices and stats affect these events, emphasizing the need to build good relationships with the girls. The page gives 3 tips to get along with girls, starting with understanding there are 11 girls and suggesting players focus on 1. Presents are key to winning girls over, even turning frowns into smiles. Joining the same club as a girl you like is another tip. And finally, engaging in conversation and dates, which can even involve home visits, are recommended to deepen bonds. Screenshots show examples of in-game dialogues and scenarios related to these tips. This page introduces the strategy game, Advanced World War, Millennium Empire's Collapse. The article dives into the depth of historical what ifs in the game, focusing on the capabilities of German generals. The writer questions who is the strongest German general in the game,
suggesting Rommel is powerful in combat, especially in the African campaign, but might not be the best overall due to logistical limitations. They hint that generals like Manstein or Guderian might be superior when considering broader strategic skills. The page includes a section called "Where Can We Meet?", showcasing in-game screenshots of German military units like the Messerschmitt Me 210 fighter and the Admiral Hipper-class heavy cruiser, implying these units can be encountered in the game. Another section discusses the Lost Norway invasion operation, referring to the historical context of the German invasion of Norway and Denmark. It mentions the Weserübung operation and how it prevented British advances and secured vital resources for Germany. The article also highlights the crucial role of the Czech-made 38T tank in the early stages of the war for the German panzer divisions. A sidebar introduces the writer, Naoyuki Kono, as a war simulation enthusiast who enjoys winning and prefers to be seen as strategically capable. This article offers strategy tips for 2 scenarios in Advanced World War. Millennium Empire's collapse. In Map 57, Final Battle, the primary objective is to rapidly seize the Kremlin and Ivantievka by focusing forces on the left side and eliminating enemies at Point A before encircling the Kremlin. Speed is crucial due to enemy reinforcements, and the enemy employs KV heavy tanks and T-34s. Map 60, Last Battle, mirrors Map 57, but adds frozen rivers and weather effects. Players should divide forces to defend City 3 and neutralize the enemy at Point A, then attack the Kremlin. Aircraft should be utilized if weather permits. Fast-moving units and strong anti-tank units are recommended to overcome the weather and incoming enemy units. The article also profiles the KV-1E tank and suggests employing dive bombers against it. Finally, it includes a call for player submissions, inviting contributions related to Millennium Empire's collapse and other simulation games. This page is a guide section for SEGA Saturn software. The page title is SEGA Saturn Soft Complete Guide. It features a prominent image of a muscular, bald character, likely from the fighting game Last Bronx, wielding a large wooden mallet. The page seems to be an index of game reviews or strategy guides, listing several titles and the page numbers where they can be found. The games highlighted are Steep Slope Slider, Derby Stallion 2, Download, King of Fighters 97, Groove on Fight, and Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story, Blue Destiny. The text at the bottom mentions Last Bronx and Sega Enterprises, suggesting the character image is indeed related to that fighting game. The page is essentially a table of contents, directing readers to different game-related articles within the magazine. This guide offers strategies for excelling in SEGA Saturn's Derby Stallion 2. Success hinges on utilizing course items strategically, such as speed boosts and recovery items, while avoiding detrimental ones. Mastering inner course navigation and cornering techniques is crucial. Combo attacks are highlighted as a performance booster. The guide details the arcade mode's item shop, emphasizing the earning of money to purchase beneficial items and how to manage weather effects with specific item counters. Skill training, including commands and costs for techniques like head push and hyperdash, is also outlined. Choosing the right horse is paramount. The guide differentiates between arcade and original modes, recommending horse types based on the game mode, like Tana Magic for arcade. It emphasizes the importance of experimentation with horse types and breeding for optimal results, especially in original mode, focusing on pedigree and stats. This Kakusei strategy guide offers tips for players to efficiently advance time, repeatedly enter and exit your part-time job location. It also clarifies the purpose of confusing locations in Uzuki Town, such as the Blue Cellar Shop and Kabakura Star Shea, hinting at their future importance. Random encounters with girls in town are opportunities to build relationships. The guide also advises giving gifts at school and visiting girls' homes to get phone numbers. Key steps for progressing with female characters. A strategy diary entry recounts a player's difficulties with Udunko. Overcoming the issues required understanding the relationship dynamics within the game. The entry concludes with a humorous observation on the game's length, even when juggling multiple romances. This guide provides strategies for romancing Kanari Yuko from Kakusei. Kanari, a focused artist, is 162 centimeters tall, with bust-waist-hip measurements of 8'5'6'0'9'0". The guide emphasizes the importance of initially finding her in the art club, allowing regular meetings in the art room on Saturday afternoons. To progress, the guide suggests getting her birthday and phone number, while warning about potential conversational stalls. Overcoming this is key, with home visits crucial for deepening the relationship, particularly during summer.
Key locations include the art room and garden pool.
Actions to avoid include disrespecting her artistic pride. Instead, initially agree with her choices and later introduce new topics. Recommended conversation topics are art and her views. An event schedule outlines seasonal date spots: art museum, rooftop, school gate, spring, school gate, World Park, garden pool, summer, aquarium, starship, rabbit ear town station, autumn, and big middle small park, art museum, winter. A rare Saturday accident event and a winter event are also highlighted. This page introduces Yuki Mizuho, character file 05, focusing on how to move from being friends to lovers with her. She's described as the ideal girl, academically excellent, sporty, and popular, but surprisingly easy to romance. The guide suggests that while she seems perfect and unapproachable, her naivety in romantic relationships is the key. Since the player character knows her from high school, the advice is to use that familiarity and initiate conversations, particularly on Saturdays at the tennis court where she spends her afternoons. The page highlights important date spots like Onpera Amusement Park, Miracle House, and World Park. For successful conversations, sincerity and honesty are crucial, avoiding any crude or overly playful topics. It's emphasized to be genuine and attentive to her feelings. The seasonal event schedule lists locations for dates throughout the year, including places like the tennis court, gym, library, amusement park, garden pool, aquarium, and parks. Her weekly schedule indicates she's at the tennis court on Saturdays until evening, and generally out and about on weekdays.
Kamiyama Miko, character file 06, is a naive maiden seeking guidance and love. She's 156 centimeters tall, with bust, waist, hip measurements of 80-60-89. Her birthday is January 18th. Weekends see her wandering the school, Saturdays, and town, Sundays. Key date spots include the music room, children's park, and Pinky Promise Shrine. Strictly adhere to her curfew. Building affection takes time, eventually leading to a suggested abolishment of the curfew. Focus on kind and gentle conversation, avoiding overly flirtatious or crude language. Typical girl talk is effective. Seasonal event locations include the Pinky Promise Shrine, Children's Park, Miracle House, and South Africa Park. Don't miss the Yuzuki School Festival event. It hints at a significant, likely sad development in her story. This page is a strategy guide for Course D in the SEGA Saturn game King the Spirits 2. It highlights that Course D is a technically challenging track after completing courses ABC, designed for cars with good cornering ability, emphasizing drift techniques and quick countersteering using the side brake. The guide advises mastering car control over memorizing the course. The page visually breaks down the course into 10 sections, from the start line to the tunnel and the final corner. Each section is numbered on a top-down map of the course and accompanied by a screenshot from the game, with a brief tip for navigating that part of the track. Tips include using side brakes for hairpins, controlling speed on corners, and being cautious on blind downhill corners. There are also 2 hidden modes explained: distraction mode, where hitting objects damages your car, and zero-ion mode, which is a straight-line course for drag races. Both modes are accessed by entering button combinations on the Mode Select screen after viewing magazine ads in the magazine mode. Distraction mode is activated by holding Y and inputting left, left, up, right, right, down, down, left, and zero-ion mode by holding R and inputting up, 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 down, 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 left. An engine sound confirms correct entry for both modes. This page finally reveals all the secrets about King cars in King the Spirits. It's like a complete guide to obtaining these special vehicles, showing you exactly how to get each one with an appearance flowchart and recommended settings. The flowchart explains how to unlock different King cars like Type A, M, O, R, S, and T, depending on the course you are playing, the time of day, and the weather conditions. For instance, to get Type A, you need to win on course during morning with clear weather. There are conditions for night and rain, too, on different courses to get other King cars. Below the flowchart, you will find detailed setting tables for each King car. These tables give you recommended configurations for engine, steering, LSD,
suspension, brakes, tires, and mufflers for each King car type, from Type A to Type E. It's mentioned that these settings are specifically for sunny weather conditions, and that Course D data is not included, suggesting players need to experiment for that course themselves. The page emphasizes that while King cars are fast, using the right settings for each course is key to maximizing their performance. It's really helpful information for players wanting to master King the Spirits and get the most out of these powerful cars. This page dives into the character-specific special moves for the tag team duo, Ome and Aoshu, in Groove on Fight. It's part 2 of a special move guide, and also mentions Remy and Falco. The page details various special moves for Ome and Aoshu, highlighting their unique teamwork style. It explains that they fight as a single character, relying on cooperation. Some of the moves detailed include Gansaiha, rock-crushing fang, a standard projectile move with variations in speed and trajectory depending on the button strength. Kushiki Gansaiha, formal rock-crushing fang. Kushiki Gansaiha, formal Rakugan, an aerial special move performed in the air. Kenbu Kyaku, clan, a stress shoot move summoning the entire. The page also discusses the characters' features, emphasizing their synergy and the power of their cooperative attacks, and provides some combo examples. It points out that while they might seem complex, they are a rewarding character to play with. This guide focuses on Remy from Groove on Fight. Remy, a music-loving character with a wicked face, utilizes musical notes in her attacks. Her versatile fighting style is command-based, suitable for all player types, but with some slow normal attacks. Her special moves include projectile attacks, Il Filo, low stance evasions, Capriola, anti-air attacks, Corno Riflesso, aerial attacks, La Molte, and Portamento, and a powerful slow-starting Requiem. The guide also details the triangle combo, a diagonal strike requiring practice. Finally, the page encourages multiplayer play, highlighting the 4-player mode and emphasizing the importance of teamwork and communication in tag team matches. This page is all about Falco from Groove on Fight, a character described as a gentlemanly gambler who, despite appearances, is a serious fighter with tricky moves. The page details his special moves, starting with Braff Shuffle, a card throw that can be used in combos, with different strengths affecting the trajectory. Face-off back is a high jump, followed by an aerial card throw. Then there's the reversal slot, triggered by pressing both punch buttons, which brings up a slot machine above Falco's head with random outcomes, sometimes helpful, sometimes not. Insight Dash is a dash move that dodges attacks and counters with a cane strike. Stormy Poker is a powerful aerial attack using giant cards, culminating in a royal flush graphic. Finally, Slight Characters is a combo using mahjong tiles, described as difficult to execute but effective. Beyond move explanations, the page hints at a hidden Omake mode in Groove on Fight that features illustrations, including artwork from the Kyuketsuki Miyu series, suggesting a bonus for fans of Murata Range's art style. The screenshots showcase Falco's moves and glimpses of these illustrations, making it a guide to master Falco and discover hidden content. This page delves into character-specific dating advice for Ryoko Subaru from Nadesico. It's part 2 of a guide focused on character-specific love tendencies and strategies. The page breaks down how to approach Ryoko in dating scenarios, noting she's an 18-year-old with specific stats, like height 165 centimeters, weight 49 kilograms, and B83W 58 per hour 83 centimeters. The guide explains date scene responses, indicating how your choices affect her affection level. A circle means a big increase, a triangle, a smaller increase, and an X signifies a decrease. It then dives into character-specific love tendencies and strategies for Ryoko, describing her as straightforward and somewhat emotionally awkward, implying you need to be assertive to progress the relationship. There are example situations and advice on how to respond. One scenario is a basketball game where she's losing, and the guide suggests encouraging her with phrases like, "If you lose, you buy me a drink." Another situation involves escaping enemies in a trolley car, advising to go right for a positive reaction. For a movie date scenario, the advice is to leave her as she is, if she falls asleep. The troubleshooting section highlights Ryoko's difficulty in understanding her own feelings and expressing them, emphasizing the need to take the initiative. The overall review categorizes Ryoko as easily heated but slow to cool down, meaning once she likes you, her affection is stable and easy to maintain in the long run, suggesting she is relatively easy to pursue in dating scenarios. This dating guide focuses on Amano Hikaru, an 18-year-old girl, providing scenarios and choices to improve affection levels. The guide emphasizes being natural and not overthinking. Successful interactions include accepting her help in a doujin circle or martial arts context, and expressing interest in her at a bookstore event. Conversely, choices like a surprise attack or feigning disinterest are discouraged. The guide also features a love consultation room, addressing dating problems. Advice includes taking your time in conversations, avoiding situations likely to lead to rejection, and recognizing that it's difficult to cheer up an angry girl without help from other characters. Finally, a love relationship diagram illustrates Hikaru's connections and affection levels with other characters. This page introduces Maki Izumi, an 18-year-old character, detailing her stats: height 177 centimeters, weight 56 kilograms, and measurements B 86 centimeters, 60 centimeters per hour, 88 centimeters. The page presents various scenarios and tips on how to interact with her. In one scenario, set in a park with sprinklers, Izumi gets wet. The guide suggests offering her your jacket, which is a good choice, while simply offering a towel is less effective. Another scenario takes place during shopping downtown, where buying matching keychains is recommended for a better outcome. The guide also covers a classmate evening classroom/preparation for going home scenario, suggesting actions like listen to her feelings or give her a passing note to build rapport. The advice here is to observe and understand her feelings. The page highlights that the virtual room is key to progressing with Izumi. Initially, she might seem emotionally distant, but persistence in conversation and showing genuine interest can soften her. In a section titled Nadeshiko Tips, Pilots Are Easily Hurt, it explains that pilot characters in battles are emotionally sensitive to damage taken. If they feel ignored or disliked, their performance and loyalty can suffer, emphasizing the importance of maintaining good relationships with pilot characters. Finally, a point section emphasizes that love wins in the end. It suggests that befriending male pilots can indirectly improve relationships with female pilots, and that raising a pilot's affection is always beneficial, even if it seems complicated. The overall message is that focusing on love and relationships will ultimately lead to success in the game. This page delves into the world of spy gadgets and the emerging trend of finding them online. The author reminisces about the allure of mechanics and how spy gadgets, born from military necessity, have a unique appeal. The article talks about the shift from analog spy tools, like miniature cameras, to the digital age, with the internet making spy gadgets more accessible. It mentions online spy shops like 00711 and spy shops, highlighting the availability of items such as small pinhole cameras, voice recorders, and video equipment. The author points out that many commercially available Japanese electronics are even used as spy gadgets, suggesting that intelligence agencies might rely on Japanese products due to budget constraints. They also touch on the ethical implications of readily available spy equipment and privacy concerns. But note, they are simply observing the trend from a collector's perspective. The page also showcases a book called Ultimate Spy Book by Dorling Kindersley, describing it as a comprehensive guide to spy gadgets, suitable even for children interested in espionage. It features detailed explanations and photos of actual spy gear, from cameras to code devices. The author concludes by emphasizing that the Internet's usefulness depends on how we, as individuals, choose to utilize it. SNK is making waves with several announcements. Twinkle Star Sprites, a competitive puzzle shooter, is coming to the SEGA Saturn, featuring elements from the arcade and Neo Geo CD versions, along with new additions. Fans are encouraged to submit art for the game's in-game gallery, with prizes offered for outstanding submissions. A new DJ Station Special Radio Drama CD, featuring a large cast of SNK characters, is already on sale. The page also showcases fan art of Kasumi Todo and cosplay photos of Athena Asamiya and Mai Shiranui. Lastly, SNK is working on updates for Robo Army Special and Samurai Showdown, with details to be announced later. This page focuses on a character breakdown for Chin Gensai in King of Fighters 96. It highlights Chin as a tricky character, noting that while his normal moves can be challenging to master, his new special move, the desireful Zangetsu Sake, and its derived techniques Gourd Splash and Drunken Mist counterattack, add a new dimension to his gameplay. The page emphasizes using these new moves strategically. The guide breaks down Chin's basic attack patterns, suggesting players mix aerial and ground attacks to keep opponents guessing. It also details specific tactics like utilizing jump attacks and crouching strong attacks. The reviewer points out that Chin excels in reading the opponent's moves and using counterattacks effectively. The page also includes sections on essential techniques, detailing how to utilize jump attacks and crouching strong punches effectively, and follower tactics, which involve predicting opponents' moves and using Chin's weak, Drunken Willow Sway counterattack. A section called Drunken Fist Strategy discusses basic battle tactics, advocating for observing the opponent and using the desireful Zangetsu Sake to set up offensive opportunities. Finally, a special column shares player opinions about Chin, noting his unique and deceptive gameplay style and how mastering him can be rewarding. This magazine page focuses on Stage 4, the climactic final stage of the House of the Dead, where Drive Curien awaits. The stage, titled The House of the Dead, is a linear gauntlet with no branching paths and features a series of boss encounters. Players are warned that health recovery is unavailable, making damage mitigation critical. A page highlights a map layout with key areas like the final area, limestone cavern, and operation room. It details specific boss strategies. The returning boss Chariot should be attacked on his right chest. The second boss Hangman requires close-range combat to overcome. Finally, a horde of weaker enemies will appear in the final passage. The page promises a final boss encounter and an interview in the next issue. This page is a staff interview for The House of the Dead, focusing on the game's settings, expressions, and target audience, which they aim to be older players. The interview features programmers Kazutomo Samotoki and Takayuki Uto from AM1 Research. Discussing the game's development, they mention the initial idea for the game came about after working on titles like Thunderblade, deciding to create a zombie shooting game, and aiming for a cinematic, movie-like presentation. They discuss shifting the target audience to adults and the challenges of character design and motion capture, which was only partially implemented, with some zombie movements being exaggerated by hand due to motion capture looking too human. The interview also covers sound design, which was difficult due to memory limitations on the Model 2 hardware, impacting the volume of sound effects and voice acting. They touch upon their experience using Model 2 hardware for game development, a first for AM1 Research. A section is dedicated to the final boss, Magician, described as the strongest enemy with mysterious powers. Screenshots showcase Magician and gameplay, detailing his attacks and weak points. Similar to the Hangman boss, requiring players to target visible body parts like hands and feet. They reveal the initial mansion stage was time-consuming to develop, and they used Virtua Cop as a system reference. The interview provides insights into the development process and design choices behind The House of the Dead. The House of the Dead featured distinct zombie designs, with varied movements and strengths, allowing for diverse gameplay. These zombies, created by Dr. Curien, included characters like Sam, Ebitan, and Harry, each with unique visual details. The game introduces protagonist Thomas Rogan, codenamed Eager Eagle, a special agent, and his partner, G. Silver Fang, who is more mysterious. Sophie Richards, a researcher, completes the trio. Developers discuss balancing difficulty and player feedback, adjusting enemy health to provide a challenging but fair experience. They expressed interest in a sequel, exploring further possibilities on the Saturn, and creating a stress-relieving game, encouraging players to discover the multiple endings. This page is focused on Top Skater from Sega AM3 and provides a beginner course edition guide. The director of the game, Shugano, personally explains how to approach the beginner course. He humorously refers to himself as Kan-chan and introduces his personal line strategies. The article breaks down two concept lines: Line A for high-score aiming super players, and Line B for beginners who want to enjoy time bonus runs. It details specific techniques like the ollie and cool combo, and highlights points to consider when riding the drum cans on the course. The advice from Sega AM3 staff members, Asano Huntaro and Kataoka Hiroyuki, emphasizes aiming for cool combos and continuous, stylish trick execution. Nomura Kenji from SEGA M3 mentions that he skates to show off, aiming for high scores and shrank continuous victories, to brag to friends. The page visually breaks down the course into areas and uses diagrams to illustrate line A and line B, explaining the optimal path and trick combinations for each. It highlights the importance of using jump ramps and drum cans effectively to achieve cool combos and maximize score or time bonus depending on the chosen line strategy. This guide for the Top Skater beginner course details line strategies across different course areas. Area 2 emphasizes bank tricks, with line A for high scores using bank tricks, and line B offering a simpler route. Area 3 focuses on jump platforms. Line A utilizes them for points, while line B prioritizes safety and time bonuses. Area 4 covers deep corners, where line A aims for speed and combos, and line B targets time bonuses. Area 5 features severe lines after the halfpipe, with line A going directly to green stones, and line B prioritizing a jump platform. Area 6, the final section, describes line A's complex ollie-based moves for a 120% impression, and line B's alternate route with drum cans and ollies. The guide offers distinct strategies, lines A and B, for high scores or time bonuses, catering to varied skill levels. This page from SEGA Saturn magazine, titled Crossover, focuses on uncovering the many sides of Hajime Katoki outside of his anime and game industry work. It's presented as Volume 4 of a series, and written by Member of Three, who describe themselves as an active and radical group whose enemy is the arcade. They mention receiving the worst ranking in a recent reader survey, showing a self-deprecating tone. The page features a series of humorous photos showcasing Katoki in various imagined scenarios outside of his professional life, highlighting his action patterns. These range from changing personas with different glasses when entering and exiting the industry, to more outlandish situations. He's pictured playing seesaw game, joking around, contemplating virtualoids, feeling brotherly after reading the men's magazine Fine, becoming gigantic, working as a detective with his shadow, riding a flying train, assaulting a referee during basketball, and eating ramen in a town inhabited by a three-haired ghost. The captions are playful and nonsensical, aiming for comedic effect rather than serious analysis of Katoki's life. The next page is titled Game to the People, and is part of the It's Powerful SEGA MR&D Department No. 3 Rush series. It introduces 3, a group dedicated to reforming the arcade industry, with the slogan, Game to the People. They aim to eliminate player discrimination, dismantle arcade imperialism, and bring an end to the ongoing consumer wars. We get to meet some of the members of 3OGA, Maeda, Miyamu, Takahaha, and Shinta, each with a funny profile and picture. Continuing the theme from the previous page, we see more of Katoki's action patterns in a series of funny photos with quirky captions. Under the heading, Katoki's Truth, this is Katokita, we learn he has 23 action patterns in total, and is described as being a bit hollow, quick-tempered, but occasionally forgiving. The page also boasts an 83% survey rate, and mentions the staff in charge are known for continuously saying, really dangerous Tursu. Lastly, 3 is looking for new recruits, offering stickers to members and encouraging readers to help them make arcades better places. The next page is an AM2 Research Express weekly feature, Volume 52, and it's quite a surprising interview. The headline shouts, Hajime no Ippo author is a Virtua junkie, revealing that George Morikawa, the creator of the famous boxing manga, Hajime no Ippo, known as Fighting Spirit internationally, is a huge Virtua Fighter fan. This page is essentially an interview between Morikawa and Katagiri Daisuke. Focusing on Virtua Fighter 3, Morikawa talks about playing VF3 intensely, even while working on his manga, showing his dedication to the game. They discuss his skills, with Katagiri acknowledging how skilled Morikawa is, even comparing him to pro players. There's a section where they delve into the character Lion Raphael from VF3, discussing his techniques and complex move names. Morikawa jokes about struggling to pronounce some of Lion's move names when trying to commentate on gameplay. It also briefly introduces Hajime no Ippo manga, describing it as a popular boxing manga, currently at volume 37, and mentions a giveaway of the latest volume with a signed illustration. A photo shows Morikawa drawing, likely creating the signed illustration for the giveaway. The contents also list a Virtua Surf topic alongside the interview, though it's not detailed on this page. In short, the page is a fun reveal of the unexpected passion for Virtua Fighter 3 from the creator of a major manga, highlighting his skills and enthusiasm for the game. In an interview titled, "Are you saying you are inviting friends? Can I come too?" Virtua Fighter 3 director Daiichi Katagiri discusses the game's appeal and competitive nature. He reflects on his personal experience with Virtua Fighter 2, finding solace and enjoyment in the game during a move. Katagiri emphasizes the skill-based and balanced nature of Virtua Fighter 3, comparing its mental strategy to boxing. He highlights the importance of knowing your opponent, particularly in tournaments, and encourages wider participation. The interview concludes with the announcement of a 13-volume strategy video series for each character, followed by a character roster with voice actor information. This page showcases a heated Virtua Fighter 3 battle between Makuchi Lion, represented by Mr. Morikawa, a skilled player known for his character strategy videos, and Mr. Katagiri Daiichi from the VF3 development team. It's a best-of-3 match, and the magazine is asking readers to predict who will win this serious showdown. Correct predictions can win a prize draw for signed artwork by Morikawa Sensei, and Volume 37 of Hajime no Ippo manga. Moving on, we get a sneak peek at AM2's latest game, Virtua Surf, which appears to be a surfing game set in exotic locations. It's described as having endurance races and even a kids difficulty mode for easier play. They also mention a national holiday race event and a party strike mode, suggesting varied gameplay experiences. The AM2 Networker section talks about reader feedback and teases future game announcements. Lastly, there's a call for readers to send in postcards to AM2 Express Weekly for a chance to win a special t-shirt featuring artwork, designed in collaboration with Yu Suzuki. It encourages reader engagement with AM2 and hints that questions and opinions sent in could influence future game development. Cheats Go! Go! Corner provides SEGA Saturn game secrets submitted by readers. For the convenience store, manipulate pricing before and after midnight for customer attraction and profit. Cyberbots reveals pilot affection details and a visual sync in versus mode. Free Talk Studio offers a hidden menu for music customization with a specific button sequence. Cube Battler Debugger Theater unlocks a hidden boss, Dark, after a series of wins and a button press. Readers can submit cheats for prizes, including software and gift certificates, by sending a postcard with game details and contact information to a Tokyo address. This SEGA Saturn magazine page previews upcoming games with a soft review section for pre-release titles. The main focus is Ryuteki Gosen Nen, Dragon Era 5000 Years, reviewed by 3 groups. The Lady Users Group enjoyed the story, characters, and music, but found it slightly misleading and gave a 5/10. The Game Mania Group liked the atmosphere, illustrations, and storyline, also awarding a 5/10. The guest game writers, however, criticized the lack of player choice, difficult to read text, and gave a score of 3. Another review, Cube Battler Anna Future Arc, noted improvements, such as the pause function, but lacked originality and punch, receiving a 5. The reviews present a mixed reception for these upcoming titles. This page showcases upcoming and newly released SEGA Saturn games. At the top, Digital Age, Dengeki Tenshi SS is previewed, described as a cute girl raising simulation. Reviewers from the Lady Users Group liked the adorable girls, story, and music, but found it a bit misleading. The High Rollers thought the premise was good, but the execution felt rushed, and the story didn't quite live up to expectations. The guest writers felt it was a light-hearted apocalypse story, with good graphics but a forced narrative, though still enjoyable. Next up is Fishing Koshien 2, the sequel to the TV commercial fishing game. The Lady Users Group appreciated the unique character parameters for fishing and the variety of fish, finding it realistic and tasty-looking. The High Rollers thought it was improved from the previous game, especially the battle against the 3-sided fish, and great for multiplayer. The guest writers praised the variety of fishing styles, including carp and sea fishing, but found some elements underdeveloped. The editorial summary mentions polygon fish and large fish battles as highlights. Finally, under New Arrival Software Check, we have Dark Hunter, Descent to the Forest of Evil. an English learning adventure game, described as the second in a series using natural English conversation. The review suggests it's good material for learning English through gameplay. Then there's DXIRD, a 3D fighting game from Takara, highlighted for its dynamic dimension system, DDS, and focus on speedy and stylish battles with cool characters. This page is a schedule of upcoming and newly released games for the SEGA Saturn. It starts by explaining how to read the page, detailing the genre abbreviations like ACT for action, RPG for role-playing, SLG for simulation, SHT for shooting, and so on. It also mentions the symbols used for compatible peripherals, such as racing controllers and multitabs, and age ratings. Moving to the games themselves, for June we see a big list, including fighting games like Groove on Fight, shooting games like Blam! Machine Head and Game Heaven, and even puzzle games like Three Dirty Dwarves and Puyo Puyo 2. Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, Sonic Jam, Nights into Dreams, and Saturn Bomberman are also among the notable titles listed for release. July features Fighter's History and its sequel Fighter's History Dynamite, Tokimeki Memorial, Marvel Superheroes, Eternal Melody, Princess Crown, and Resident Evil. Biohazard in Japan, Super Robot Wars, Virtual Bart, NHL 98, Langrisser IV, and Mega Man X4, Rockman X4, appear in the listings for July and August, along with Fantasy Zone in September. There are also many titles that seem to be Japanese exclusives, covering various genres, from adventure and simulation to table games and etc., which likely means miscellaneous or unclassified games. The SEGA Saturn's late 1997 and early 1998 release schedule is packed with diverse titles. October 1997 features games like Grand Dread, Falcom Classics, and Maria, tentative title. Autumn brings Voice Fantasia, Black Broken Chapter, Doom, and Primal Rage. Winter sees Phantom Saint Tale, Ultimate Tiger 2 Plus, and the RPG Azel Panzer Dragoon RPG, along with many other titles. The year-end and early 1998 period includes Wizard's Harmony 2, Ninja Jajamaru-kun, Sentimental Graffiti, Guardian Force, Cotton 2, and Faradun the Land of Dragon Castle, showcasing a wide array of genres. Familiar Otherworld explores the intersection of games and art, using the ocean as a central theme. The article focuses on the game Deep Fear, also known as Great Undersea War, showcasing its underwater combat setting and emphasizing the thrill of survival and immersion. The text connects the game's futuristic underwater world to real-world concerns like climate change and rising sea levels, and links the ocean to human evolution and the potential for aquatic adaptations. It highlights the inherent mystery and wonder of the ocean, referencing scientific ideas such as aquatic apes. The page also includes a segment by Dr. Hughes, a Kyoto University scholar, adding an academic layer to the review, blending game analysis with reflections on nature, humanity, and the ocean's allure. This page is all about Reader Presents. SEGA Saturn Magazine is giving away a bunch of cool stuff. First up, 20 lucky readers can win any SEGA Saturn game they want. And then there's a Virtua Fighter 3 Java T Battle Koshin promo poster. They're giving 10 of those away. It's a non-sale item from SEGA. 10 people can also win Langrisser CD protection mats. Provided by Messiah, these are described as perfect for keeping your important discs safe, even music grids. There are also 3 Puzzle Bobble Super Balls up for grabs. These are described as cute and colorful game-themed bouncy balls. Finally, 2 very lucky people can win signed artwork by Ino Kenji and Suzuki Kenichi of Moonriders fame, real collector's items. The page also lists the winners from the previous issue's giveaway and provides contact information for inquiries about the magazine. It mentions the next issue, SEGA Saturn Magazine for June 6th, will be released on May 23rd. There's also a small section asking for writers to contribute to the magazine, particularly those knowledgeable about games. This page showcases Ochige Designer Tsukute Pon, a puzzle construction tool for the SEGA Saturn, allowing you to create your very own falling block puzzle games. The advert highlights it as a puzzle construction tool and emphasizes the ease of use, with the tagline, "Make it Pon." The character design is credited to Takami Akai, and the voice is by Yuko Miyamura. Published by Packinsoft, this SEGA Saturn software was slated for release in August 1997 and priced at 5,800 yen before tax. It seems like a cool tool for aspiring game designers to build their own puzzle experiences on the Saturn. Ochage Designer Tsukute Pon is a user-friendly puzzle game creation tool launching in June. It promises effortless game design, guided by the fairy Elfia. Even for those new to game development, users can customize everything from titles and backgrounds to enemy characters and graphics, creating games in seconds. The software offers deep customization, as seen in screenshots showcasing the interface, block settings, and gameplay examples. Players can adjust the field, gravity, and utilize diverse graphic samples to design unique games. A contest is also announced, offering the winner an opportunity to work as a game designer on a future title. The tagline encourages users to create, play, battle, turning their ideas into games. This page promotes the SEGA Saturn game Martian successor Nadesico. It's advertised with the tagline, "Love Battle Royale Eruption," suggesting a romantic and competitive element within the game. The text describes the plot as embarking on a journey to save Earth from Martian monsters, but highlights that human relationships are key, especially with a large female crew. It hints that whether you are liked or disliked depends on your actions, making it sound like a relationship-focused adventure. The phrase, "as expected, in the end, love wins," is also prominently displayed, reinforcing the romance theme. The page features character art from the anime series, including Eureka, and screenshots showcasing in-game scenes and what looks like dialogue choices or relationship meters. It's labeled as an adventure game and priced at 5,800 yen. The "This is Cool" box adds to the promotional feel, emphasizing the game's appeal.